I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Wisconsin did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
I'm Doug Russell. The long-awaited NFL schedule is finally out for the Packers. Some highlights. They'll open up at Minnesota on September 13th. They'll play the Rams in L.A. the night before Thanksgiving. They're at Chicago on Christmas Day. And for those who plan vacations around it, the Packers' bye week is Week 11, November 22nd. But then again, they do play just a few days later, that Wednesday. Moving on to baseball. It's a series win for the Brewers.
Canning, 2-1. Terang into left center. It's going to split the gap. It goes to the wall. Hamilton scores easily. Bryce Terang with an RBI double.
Brewers TV on the call. 7-1 the final score. Milwaukee with the win. The crew now heads north and west to Minnesota. They'll open up a 3-game weekender with the Twins tonight. NBA playoffs this evening. Detroit is at Cleveland. The Cavs up 3-2 in the series. San Antonio is at Minnesota. The Spurs up 3-2 in that series. The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Diller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got to tackle what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
We are locked and loaded for a power-packed Friday edition of The Huddle. Are you ready with us? You insomniacs, early risers, sociopaths waiting for the health club to open. Are you ready, willing, and able to help us get through these 3 hours standing between us and a glorious Wisconsin weekend? I hope so. Drew Wilson, Bill Schmid, Armen Sarian, bringing it to you from headquarters. Power Pack Show. Why? Because, well, we've got stuff to talk about. Brewers, Padres, an impressive series where they should have swept. They were one strike away from sweeping a homestand against the two first-place teams that they were on their docket. Can't get much better than that. 5-1 homestand wrapped up with a delicious sweep, delicious victory yesterday. Packers schedule came out, much like the Packers draft. It's in the books. It's as good as it could be.
It's there.
We'll talk about it. It's there in all its glory. We've got Kappa Kate Sutton set to join us today at 5:30 live from Italy. She's wrapping up a semester abroad. And we have Paul Wagner to join us to talk about how wonderful the Brewers pitching is. And it's the Dock Hounds home opener. If you're in Lake Country, tonight the Dockhounds are playing games that count in the standings.
In Lake Country, if you're celebrating Happy New Year, as we like to say on opening day, it's the hope springs eternal, and it does for every single team. And whether it's tax day, whether it's now, in the middle of March or on a Wednesday in September, whenever that bad boy finally starts, you always believe you can be running yourself into glory. So I'm excited to talk to Wags about all the guys from the Dockhounds that are potentially going to help them bring home a championship or, make their dream come true and find their way back to the big leagues.
And don't look now. It should be a beautiful night for baseball. I mean, don't look now, but May turned out to be pretty nice here on May 15th.
Oh, you're calling it for May. Okay.
I'm calling it for May. It's here.
Okay.
Spring's here. The beautiful weather's here. We've gotten through the tough
It's
stuff.
gonna be a nice weekend.
I'm calling it right now. And I'm not going to be eating ketchup on, was it Monday when the original report a week ago said there might be like a polar vortex and snow on the 19th. And I called that out right away. I think we're good to go. So everything's good. Everybody.
What was the ketchup?
Yeah, I said on Twitter, I would eat ketchup live on air if it snowed May 19th. That was such a ludicrous report that I saw from some weather guy on the internet.
I know symbolically yesterday, you guys, you got those of you who have yards and driveways and don't live in condos, you run the gas out of the snowblower. Well, for me, it was like yesterday, I think I'm going to take this snow scraper out of the car.
Big moment.
Take it away.
Put that away.
Yeah.
Yep, no
on
doubt.
May 14th, we made the transition. We're on to spring and summer.
Damn, I got to say, though, I think I would sacrifice the snow on May 19th if I got to watch you eat a bottle of ketchup live on air.
I think a lot of people were thinking that too. And I'll be honest with you.
Did you put parameters on it? Were you going were you just going to take the bottle of ketchup
You're not
and
eating
drink
a jar
it?
of Crisco or
it's not that
disgusting.
crazy.
It's not mayo. Some people get grossed out with
That's
mayo.
why, if you were just having a ketchup packet, I don't know that that's much of a call. I think you would have had to delete the entire bottle.
I said a bowl of ketchup. I did say a bowl of ketchup, but what kind of bowl? How big? Somebody asked me what
Can I
type
cut
of
up hot
ketchup.
dogs in it?
Oh, that's a great question.
I would love that, but I think it's cheating.
Even
but
a couple little drops of mac and cheese.
Someone said, could they pick the brand? I was like, I don't care as long as it's not like a weird
Actually,
variety.
I have to go to the store today, and ketchup's on the list.
Let's go.
We're running low.
Well,
I need the no sugar added, healthy, organic, whatever that is. The new Hunts.
I was going to say the new Hunts. This stuff is better for you than that. I'm into that. I'm excited. So I apologize for interrupting that. When I hear Armen going to eat a bowl of ketchup or a bottle of ketchup, I just get caught. There's different things that catch your attention. Some, are right there in front of you. Some you got to be digging for a little bit. Like you mentioned the schedule releases yesterday, Drew. Some of them right in your face with the laughter and the bit. Some of them you really had to dig deep, and look at those street signs and the New York Post messages that pop up in the bottom corner.
That was good. The Vikings had one. I saw that too. I mean, this is New Year's. You mentioned New Year's. This is also the Super Bowl for the social media teams. Right, they have to come out with their best heat, and
it's
I don't know how they did.
I don't know if I'm a conscientious objector or what, but I avoided all that.
Do you think
I just didn't want to watch any of it. I think they peaked when the Titans a couple of years ago,
Titans and a couple of years ago with theirs.
The Brewers social media is really good. The stuff that they do, I'm not that interested. Tell me when the games are.
Have we passed the peak of that stuff? I mean, I think
We've
it's a lot
passed
of
the
fun.
peak of just about everything.
Yeah, like we're over that too.
I would totally disagree with what we can do on AI and video that gets produced through with CGI and things like that.
That's the thing.
You think that we're past it?
The tools are there. I just don't know.
I think it's only
our
getting
shock
better.
value.
I'm past being shocked or even that interested.
But the Titans, they made me laugh again with theirs, and they were on the street again. I mean, I thought it was funny. It's hard to really make me audibly laugh out loud for something I see on X these days.
So
there's
now,
a lot of funny stuff, but to be actually like, wow, that was funny. I thought they did a pretty good job.
So now we've gone from where, you get like draft grades, free agency grades, to now we're going to grade social media teams on how they interpret their schedule release. And I got to say, it's not Monday, but it's not game balls and kicks the balls, but game ball to the NFL for keeping a pretty tight handle on the leaks, because we didn't have the entire Packers schedule.
No, they got the ones that they wanted out when they wanted them out. And other than that, I think by the time it came out at 7:00, you were able to bit and piece it together. But there was no PDF that got sent through. The embargoes were clean, that's for sure.
But not without trying. I mean, we had everybody in Timbuktu asking us if we had ideas for leaks, or if we heard anything else. I mean, former co-workers, my father-in-law. I mean, everybody wanted to know if they were. I'm like, why don't you just wait till 7:00 like everybody else and figure it out? But hey, I mean, nobody did leak it, so kudos to everybody. We had some fakes out there.
Yeah.
You had to dodge those things like wrenches. But if you were good enough, you could do it.
Well, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, and you can dodge a fake game.
And the NFL kept its record intact of making me chuckle with the preseason slate. Packers at Pittsburgh, August 13th to the 16th. Wow, 3 days of games. Wow,
Somewhere
3 day long game.
there.
At Denver, 20th to the 23rd, and then home against the Cardinals. Now that home weekend against the Cardinals, which is a gold package exhibition game.
It is, yes.
I have there's a wedding I'm supposed to attend in Michigan that weekend, so it's kind of important that I know when that game is, to whether it's going to be the Friday or if I can attend a wedding on Saturday. Like, you're killing me, Smalls. Let's lock that down.
Those they don't roll out for a while though, right?
That's a joke.
No, generally not. I know August 13th, I believe, is when they're actually playing the Pittsburgh game. And
you can't tell me that they don't know, because the Cardinals are coming in for the joint practice and they know when the game is, right? They've got that locked in.
That I actually would say they probably don't. They don't necessarily. Well, do they have their whole practice plan? They probably don't have training camp set up. Like, so if you're going to build it in with the joint practice, they don't probably know when
they have training camp set up.
I don't think they probably do if they don't have the games. Like, I don't know that they have it fully built out. We're still like just under 100 days away.
They have to secure hotels and all that. I mean, I would think that they're like, we kind of knew that they were playing.
I don't think they're worried about getting hotels for preseason games in the middle of August.
You'd be surprised, man. There's in some cities, maybe not Green Bay, but in some cities, the welders are in, and that's our week for the the annual weld. Try to get a hotel in Milwaukee when Northwestern Mutual's in town.
Yeah, well, not getting one in Milwaukee. So I'm
just saying, it's like
I don't know that it's that big of a deal if you're planning on getting a raucous 15,000 people to ship in for the preseason game.
Talk about the players.
If they know the
teams,
they get like 2 floors, and that should be about it. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
If it's a matter of just game time, though, I mean, if they know the general weekend, they should be okay.
Yeah,
the issue is the time, though. So they don't really need that for hotels and stuff. Like, you don't need to know if it's 7 o'clock or noon or whatever. I don't know.
No, the date. I'm talking about the date.
Yeah, but
again, they're going to be in for a few different days. But
right.
Yeah, they're going to be in for a couple of days. But
I don't know.
Let us know. And it would make sense that they'd play the last exhibition game on a Friday, I would think, wouldn't it? I mean,
the last couple of years, it's been Saturday.
We had a Sunday once.
Yeah, we had a Sunday with Denver when they were there for a joint practice. The last couple of years, I know they had the last home preseason game 2 years ago against Seattle, and that was a Saturday at noon.
Weren't 2 of them on Friday though last year?
That often
Friday
happens.
night.
That often happens.
Yeah.
My years get mixed up, but they often do.
They wrapped up at home the last preseason game the last couple of years though. Saturday at
noon.
It's so that to me is a joke that they can't nail that down. I mean, come on. You can nail down dates in December and you can't nail down dates in August. It seems
again, the ones that really matter. Like as much as difficult as it is, I don't think anybody cares about the preseason games other than the ones working for it.
That's true.
The ones in the preseason has fallen so far to people into the national sphere. You would never be able to take off in the middle of August. Instead, it's like, hey, why don't you take off until like the end of August, because nobody is necessarily worried about the games that is generally starting.
The fact that the season opens there's the Wednesday before, but the season basically for the rest of the humans opens on the 13th of September, and the Super Bowl is Valentine's
Day, baby.
We're pushing way back further, and we're preparing for the 18 game slate, which will be 2 preseason games, right?
Yes. Yep.
So you're right. It's being marginalized. It's almost ridiculous.
The lack of it also, when we talk about it with Wayne Larrabee, when we were growing up for training camp, we've done that the last couple of years of being there every day and broadcasting with Wayne, of talking and understanding that everything you see during camp is one thing. And then the first 3 or 4 weeks of the regular season ultimately turns itself into what basically is preseason football 2.0, because you don't know a whole lot about the teams, and they don't necessarily know a whole lot about their outfits as well through the month of September, and that is only going to grow. I thought the couple of key things from the schedule that were disappointing for fans, a lot of people were hoping that Tampa Bay game was sitting in the middle of November. Instead, week 4, that heat might be a thing, and 2 Thursday night Amazon Prime home kicks, neither of which gold package dates. Those are good ones.
Those are good. Not great for those of us who host radio shows at 5 a.m. following the day after.
That's fair.
And we're going to that's a tight turn for us. 2 tight turns.
Yeah, that's going to be a wild ride. But hey, we're not pancake eaters around here. So
we're not pancake eaters. Callback. Good callback, Armen.
Yeah.
Good callback. All right. So a couple of things that jump out. Packers, obviously, opening against Minnesota. That's cool. Division opener. I like the soft line. 3 of 4 on the road and a Thursday night home opener when you got 2 games in the can already. The Vikings and the Jets open on Thursday night against the Falcons and then go to Tampa, as Billy mentioned, for that October 4th matchup. So that sets you up 3 out of 4 to start. You're knocking out road games, getting them out of the way. What do you look for? You look for the bye. The bye is late. The bye is leading into their Wednesday, Whiskey Wednesday game, which is later than the Packers have had it, right? In recent years.
Sitting with a week 6 bye is not what you're hoping.
Yeah, so that's good timing. And then there's a couple of mini buys built in as well. So that is cool. They'll be done playing the Vikings before the bye.
Yeah. And I mean, their back half of the schedule is almost all at Lambeau Field. Once you get to December, if you're building it for December, quote unquote, football, they close with 4 or 5
at home.
They won't they will get on a plane because they fly to Chicago, but it's not a long flight.
There's no stretch of, there's no back-to-back division games. And you're closing that Bears game Christmas Day. We avoided Thanksgiving, couldn't avoid Christmas. Packers at Bears Christmas Day with a noon.
Yeah, I know people hate this. I think people like that. It's Armen's least favorite thing in the world.
We're gonna do this.
People love watching games.
People with young kids and stuff are like. I think about the players and coaches and stuff. Well, they're in the league. They got to sacrifice that. But I mean, if you're a coach, you guys, hey, you're going to be on the road for Christmas Day and you're not going to watch the game. You'll have to FaceTime the kids when they open their presents in the morning, if you can even do that, because you'll probably be on your way to breakfast meeting.
I struggle to only think about myself, but I understand it. Like fans, that is why that number draws so big. You're already with your family. There's going to be great families that already have Bears on this side, Packers on this side. That's setting up for a sweet Christmas Day. Hopefully a lot better than Christmas Day Packers and Bears 2006.
What gets me is
Lambeau Field and beat the crap out of the Packers.
They're just flexing because that's a Friday, right? If Christmas Day falls on a Sunday and that's your league business, okay, you can suck it up once every year. They're hunting for the audience. They're trying to steal. The NBA had that traditional stranglehold on Christmas Day for ratings and exposure, which they don't anymore.
That's their right as a business, and it will work for them.
That's true.
But it is true what you're saying.
Has worked for them. I don't know that it will. It has.
And didn't Mark Murphy say, we don't want our employees to have to work on Christmas Day. We don't want to have people have to come in. Like people the friendly faces we see, the elevators, operators, and security guards.
Right, but they don't count games
so it's a road game. So the Packers probably would say, we'd rather not. Because Mark Murphy made that point that he didn't want to play.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of things you don't like to do. You don't like eating vegetables, but we're going to play on Christmas. We're going to play 4 games on Christmas. It's not going to change.
And this will happen listen,
it's going forward. They're playing on Christmas Day going forward.
Exactly. They slowly push
They said they'll play 2. We'll play 2 if it's a Tuesday or Wednesday.
It's like,
otherwise saddle up for 3.
Let's slowly dip you in the wax a couple of years ago with the Wednesday, Christmas Day. And then it's like, all right, now you're used to it. You're going to be playing now Thanksgiving Eve. That's just the way it is now. So complaining about it like I like to do is a moot point because
that's also a short week. I mean, not as short as playing Thursday, obviously, but it's still a short week to turn around Sunday to Friday, which is an interesting dynamic late in the season when guys are beat up and stuff. So.
But then they don't have to travel, so you have to look at it that way.
Yeah,
and it's like a mini, but yeah, it is. I mean, it is kind of.
Well, they do travel.
No, they travel a little bit. Bill Huber put it together in just like the rest breakdown, which is a really, really interesting way of looking at it. That both different games again, or the final game against the Lions, obviously. There's not a whole lot there, but Detroit will have 1 day advantage because the Packers will be coming off of a Monday night game. The time that they play Detroit earlier in the season in week 7, Detroit will have a full week of rest advantage over. And Bill captioned it with NFL screws the Packers in terms of bye weeks and schedule differences, that there's some big division games that the rest difference and the rest quotient would be out of their scales, out of their balance. You got to play them when you can. And, they have 6 primetime games, which we anticipated, one behind the most at 7. And they're going to be smack dab in the middle of all the most important windows. Netflix said, how much money are we paying for these games? We would prefer the Green Bay Packers and Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, could you give us the good games? Could you not stick us with the Titans and Bills? Or we'll take all of the best ones that you have. Thank you very much.
You know what? This is one that people aren't going to complain about too much with the streaming either, because everyone's got Netflix. That's the one thing. Like, I could see people with like Prime or
funny thing is more people have Prime and they don't realize they have Prime.
Well, that's probably true, but I feel like Netflix is probably one of the most common ones. I mean, I don't anticipate too much complaining about.
They're the streamers games, 2 Amazon Prime games, 2 Netflix games, and wrapped up with not a whole lot of home noon games. Only the first home nooner is that week 7 game against the Vikings at home,
which is frustrating for some people.
You would think that you would think that given that they're playing the Monday night, January 4th. That next game would be a Sunday, that they'd push it.
Yeah, that'll be a Sunday.
You would think, but you never know what the implications will be, and what if there are more pressing games. It depends on the implications and standings and the.
But I mean, I generally think both of those teams are going to be in the mix there in Week 18, and we've seen that a lot. Generally, they want those all played at the same window, but there's a ton of Lambeau at night. Lambeau at night was the goal of the schedule makers. So I know they're putting it apparently through AI, helping them figure out how to make this schedule line up as good as possible. They said, hey, how about you get us the cool visuals of Lambeau Field under the lights, because that's what they indicated they want all year long,
which is cool to watch. But I think one thing is a lot of fans want their noon games and they're going to complain. And I'll say this, I think for all the resellers, it's gonna be tough, because a lot of fans don't want to go to those night games and they resell them. So we might be in for a year of complaining about the not enough green and gold.
Airbnb
You're expecting a lot of Atlanta Falcons and Carolina Panthers fans to take over on the Thursday nights. Is what you're saying?
Maybe not the Panthers, but maybe Atlanta, and just in general, or frustrated fans that are like, we got to go to this game because we can't resell them. Because we have all the commodity brokers.
Airbnb owners don't like the Thursday games per se, and they're not big fans of even Monday, because they like the Sundays, because you get Saturday and Sunday if you're going to get a 2-night stay out of people and try to make a minimum. So a lot of ramifications. The schedule sets up pretty well, and you're right, Billy. 3, I believe, if it's 3 of the first 4 home games are night for the Packers.
Atlanta Thursday night. They play the 3:25 window. Now, granted, it's in October before daylight savings, so it's a little bit different for the Bears, but that's going to be watched by just about everybody in the country. Sunday night, Dallas. Thursday night, Carolina, and week 10, November 15th. That's the only scheduled home noon one before the bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dallas and Buffalo, those are
the way the schedule lays out. It's gonna be a fun ride. Buckle up. The schedule seems logical, just like the draft seemed logical. That's the word that keeps coming to my mind. Is that the draft was logical? What they did, the schedule seems logical, but hey, you never know.
That 4 of 5 at home is so advantageous.
That is, and so is the soft open with the Vikings, Jets, Falcons, and Bucks before you get Micah Parsons back and Tucker Kraft at 100%.
Well, right? And it also lines up right. Week 5, 4 weeks on the PUP. Both of those guys could, in theory, start it on PUP and then get activated and be there in time for the Bears.
Yeah, now that.
And also gold package shout out. Bears, Vikings, let's ride. Let's make that a raucous crowd, and don't be selling the tickets.
The season starts October 11th, damn it.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
That one's going to be good. All right, we're off and running. Shooting shirts are off. Plenty to talk about today. The triumphant return of our pal Kappa Kate Sutton, who is doing a semester abroad, spending time.
No fun.
She's based in Italy, but based on her social media, she has seen all of Europe. She is traveling. She's having a blast, and we're going to catch up with Kappa Kate, because it's probably the last time before she gets on back home to watch her brother graduate from high school.
And back on normal time.
Yep. So Kate Sutton is going to join us next. If you're a Kappa Kate fan, wake up your friends. Hell, Brian and Stephanie in Brookfield might be up already listening to us to get ready for Kappa Kate's triumphant return to the Huddle. That's next. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Rolling along it is the Friday edition of the Huddle. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 in Madison, worldwide on the iHeartRadio app, streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Our pal Kappa Kate's going to join us live from Italy as she continues her semester abroad. She's wrapping up her semester abroad. What a semester. Started with the Olympics and just included all kinds of travel. Kappa Kate will join us momentarily. We're talking about the Packers schedule. We're talking about the Brewers as they head into Minnesota for a weekend series with the always hated but never feared Twins. That's just the hors d'oeuvre, because the border battle that we care about starts Monday when the Brewers take on the Cubs at Wrigley Field. 3 640 games in a row. Is that right? Did I see that right?
All night games down at Wrigley. Weird. And as much as they'd love to make the Brewers and Twins a real border battle, it looks good though on the t-shirts. It does look good on the nice little old pennants that they used to make at the border battle. Nobody calls it.
Nobody calls it. So if you have thoughts on that, the talk and text line's open, 877-794-1973. Don't bother calling us right now, though. Special guest, a returning champion, live from overseas through the miracle of technology. She is joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, our pal Kappa Kate Sutton. Kate, welcome back to the program. How have you been?
I have been fantastic. How have you guys been doing? It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
We haven't been having nearly as much fun as you. I'll tell you that. I think I can say that very, very cleanly.
I get tired and I feel broke and have to check my accounts looking at your Instagram account because all the stuff that you're doing over there, Kate. You're doing it right. So how are you feeling?
I am feeling exhausted, but in the best way, because I made sure to take advantage of study abroad. I was trying to travel as much as possible, basically every weekend. But now, of course, it's finals time, so I kind of have to lock in a little bit more.
Got to lock in.
Gotta lock in. Make sure we know everything. Cut them and crack.
I love that. You're doing it right, but what's it going to be like when you get home and you live more like an ordinary, but like, you're back to like, doing laundry and just
not going to historic cities every weekend.
I was going to say just seeing the quick trip.
I'm not. Quick trip, right? Going like to pick and save. You're not going to see like his most historic churches and like ruins of Europe, like all these things. It's going to be an adjustment.
It's going to be a very, very hard adjustment. I've already talked to some of my friends because I'm here a lot longer than the majority of people due to my exchange program. Most of my friends have been home for 2 weeks, almost a month, some of them. And I got to tell you, none of them are thriving as much as I am right now. It took a little bit more of an adjustment. You go from seeing the Duomo on my casual walk to class to I'm going to be seeing. I mean, I miss Chipotle, so at least I'll be close to Chipotle again.
Yes.
True. The cilantro rice is still good. Don't worry about it. It'll still be there. And the pizza, enjoy the last couple of them here. But you mentioned the exchange program. Now, my brother-in-law is doing the exact same thing, I believe, next year. Nice. So he's already scheming it up. How long in the making was this for you? How long had you thought about studying abroad? And I think the dumb question, but the easy one is, was it worth it? Was it everything that you kind of dreamed it would be?
Absolutely. Studying abroad was always a big dream for me. I didn't know if I would actually be able to do it because, of course, there are very pricey programs, which is why when I found out about exchange programs where I'm just paying the same tuition that I'd be paying at Madison, immediately I knew that I needed to apply to every single one the business school had. Of course, I love Italian food. I've always wanted to go to Italy, so I put that as my number one, but it's always been a dream of mine. This has been over 3 years in the making. It was my senior year of high school when I found out about the option because I had a friend at Madison. And so since then, I've just been making sure I've been taking the right classes at Madison and making sure that I was applying to the right programs. And now it's all transferring over seamlessly. Hopefully, I say this again, let's hope the finals go well, but hopefully all this will transfer back very nicely. This is everything I could have wanted.
Is it safe to say that you've learned more just traveling around Europe and experiencing the world than you did sitting in the classroom? I'm sure the professors and stuff at the university that you're at are great, but isn't it like you learn more outside the classroom?
Oh, absolutely. Every new city that I've been to, I mean, you're learning so much about different cultures, but you're also, I don't know, it's just kind of fun to just meet new people because you're meeting all these different people from all across the world, all of these different professions as well. So, I mean, like, I feel like that's half the fun is just learning from new people and also trying to learn a new language. I still struggling with that a little bit, but the language, who cares about the language barrier? You still learn as much as you can.
We got translate apps for that.
I was just going to say, so was it all Duolingo or were you just like, was your Google Translate app like your best friend? And are you going to miss them? Because like I would say you probably spent so much time talking into your Google Translate app. It's like a friend that all of a sudden moves away.
Do you know those like widgets on your iPhone when you're on an app so constantly that they start to just pop up on the massive widget? Google Translate is my massive widget right when I open my phone. Because I'm on it so much. I'm definitely going to miss it. Seriously, bless technology, because I don't know how I'd be able to get into half the Airbnbs or hostels that I've been staying in without a little bit of help from that. So
yes, also your YouTube algorithms and your direct marketing algorithms are all cooked right now, right? Probably it's going to be like a different thing when you come back. So is it hard to keep up with the local sports over there while you're there? Like, are you just having to get up in the middle of the night? Or are you just checking the score during the day? Or it's just like, oh, okay, I see. Packer schedule came out. That's pretty good.
Brewers are good.
When you wake up, you get to see the Brewers score. Yeah.
No, I will say it's definitely not as exciting because I definitely cannot stay up late to watch it in the middle of the night. But it is fun because my roommates, one of my roommates, funny enough, we live in this lounge area. He's also from Wisconsin. So in the morning, we'll come over. We'll talk about, here's the Packers schedule. What games are we going to attempt to try and go to? Or what's the Brewers schedule? How are the Brewers doing right now? It's a lot of fun it's a very good bonding experience because all of us love sports that I'm surrounding myself with here. But as much as we love sports, we're really struggling to stay up late at night. So it's fun for us to meet up and talk about it afterwards.
We are chatting with Kate Sutton, Kappa Kate, friend of the program, our correspondent for the Olympics earlier this year. That seems like a year ago to me. I'm sure the way that you've been living life, it probably seems like a long time ago too.
It literally feels like a different lifetime. When I'm still in the airports, of course, Italy has all the Milan Cortina Olympic memorabilia everywhere. Still, they're still trying to push it as much as possible. But it's just like every time I go to the airport and I see it, it genuinely feels like a lifetime ago that I watched the USA women's team win gold. Like I've experienced so much here that it's just I have no words.
Well, you've experienced so much there, including your 21st birthday. Kate Sutton turned 21 abroad. Right. No birthday with the family, but you got to do. So how did you celebrate your birthday? And I'm curious, Kate, statute of limitations, you're among friends. Your dad's listening in Pittsburgh on his way to Germany. But do you do a ceremonial destruction of the fake ID that you had for all these years? Or do you put it in a frame and keep it somewhere? Or do
sell it?
Or do you use it do you use it out of habit now that when your real ID will get you into places? What is the deal with turning 21 abroad?
Turning one abroad, I will say, wasn't as exciting due to the fact that I have been legal here for so long. My friends say
that's kind of killing. Yeah, anticlimactic.
Like it was pretty anticlimactic. I popped some champagne right at midnight. My friends and I all went crazy, and they're like, "All right, well now let's go out to some clubs." We went to Croatia for my 21st birthday. We went to Split, Croatia, gorgeous city. Definitely not once in my life did I ever think that was where I was going to be spending my 21st birthday, but that's the fun of it. And my fake ID, funny enough, did bring it here just so I could put it side by side and say goodbye to it. But I think it's going to be a little bit more ceremonious if I go back home and the second that I land in the U.S. actually break it with my friends. But it's going to mean a little bit more.
That first trip to the KK is a legal participant.
Wait, I thought it was different. Jen Magnus.
First thing I'm doing when I go to Madison is go to the KK. Like the one party I get into.
Don't worry, the floor is still sticky. The floor is still sticky waiting for you. Yep, 100%.
It wouldn't be the same if my Converse weren't sticking to the floor every time I was walking in there.
It's the same sticky floor from beer spilled when your mom was there.
I was gonna say, yeah. we've all of a sudden
we've all been there. Yeah, we all know. That's funny. So when are you done? What are finals looking like? I know some of your classes, like you were saying, you didn't have them on Friday and stuff. So when are you wrapping up, and when do you come back stateside?
So sadly, my classes are officially done. My final class was on Wednesday, and now it is all finals prep. So my friend took a final this morning. I don't take my first final for one more week. Mine is next Friday, and I have exams Friday, Monday, Tuesday. And then after that, I have 2 days to myself, and then lovely Stephanie and Brian, my parents, will be visiting me. We weren't able to do it earlier in the year, but it works out better this time. So they're going to come May 28th, and then I'm going to be showing them around Italy as much as possible. I'm still building their itinerary. And then we're going to go back to stateside June 5th.
All right.
That is awesome.
Just in time to see your brother graduate.
Right? Perfect timing.
I joked with my parents.
Now, I know you've been having way too much fun, so you probably haven't been talking to your friends that are back here. Did you hear all the wildness that went down with the classes and the finals at Madison? It sounds like the software broke down. Are we doing the finals in person, or are they trusting it to the software that apparently blew up down there?
So I honestly, a few of my friends, thankfully, I asked them about it. They all had professors that were very great with communication. Some of them pushed their exams back like a day or two, which some of my friends definitely needed that. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise that the Canvas shut down. Man. But I mean, during that period of time, it was the most, two of my friends were just freaking out back at Madison because all the slides, everything is on that Canvas website. So the second it shut down, half of them were excited, half of them were in despair. So I was trying to support them both, but I can't believe the timing of that. That was just horrible.
What happened? Hackers?
You would be able to explain about Canvas. That's like the whole learning, like that is the learning website,
the platform for
all of the lesson plans,
notes,
and tests and everything was on it and just went out.
Everything went out. So basically Canvas is this website that includes, you can take exams on it. It has every single one of your slideshows. It has all of your assignments. It's basically anytime you sit down in a classroom, you have to open up Canvas so you can go through and understand what the lesson plan is. So of course, study guides and everything when finals come out, you're attached to Canvas. Well, apparently someone hacked the Canvas system, shutting down the entire system all across the country. So now students all throughout the US were having to deal with the fact that Canvas, which is their go-to thing in order to study and do their exams or courses, is now out. So very poor timing. But again, I will say TikTok that day was entirely entertaining because everyone instead of studying, they're like, well, guess we'll just doom scroll and post funny content the rest of the time.
Wow. Man. You don't understand how many times I dreamed of this when I was in college.
You would love this, Billy.
I had this dream every other day in college that all of a sudden the whole campus portal was just going to shut down. Well, sorry, I guess I can't do anything.
That would have been your Roman Empire. That would have been like your greatest moment.
That would have been. Yes. Oh, my goodness.
All these ransomware hackers. These hackers are crazy these days. Wow.
So you didn't miss out on that fun, Kate, being where you are. But what about like any stuff with the Kappas, any stuff with your sisters? Was there a spring formal that you missed out on? Did you have any FOMO? Because those of us here stateside totally have FOMO with what you're experiencing. I would trade places with you in a heartbeat. But what do you feel like you missed in this semester abroad?
Oh, I missed those Kappa formals and we have our spring formal, we have our date parties, we have really fun date parties where it's kind of like anonymous invite too. So you're able to send out, like, you don't know what the guys or girls that are invited have no idea who invited them. You just write the name down. So they just are told to show up at this time. And it's always super fun when like everyone's trying to figure out who invited them. So that definitely had some FOMO from that event. I mean, I'm in a business fraternity as well. All of my senior friends, all of them had their big moments. We have this thing called, we have banquet. So they did a whole party bus that I wasn't able to be on, and that looked so much fun. So definitely a lot of those student events, and I'm really going to miss my seniors that all graduated as well. But it's been crazy, like living life from far away. Like I was at all this last semester, but now it's like, I feel so detached, but I'm excited to go back so I can see everyone one more time.
And seeing it through social media though, that's the other thing. So you're kind of connected, but not connected. It's interesting.
The 70-degree days on the terrace in May are pretty good.
That hits.
Yeah. My friends drinking beers, sitting at Memorial Union. Yeah, that's something I definitely do miss. I have been receiving a lot of phone calls though, and it's really, our time difference is extremely entertaining because I don't get the FOMO from the drunk phone calls from a majority of my friends anytime they're at these events. They still try to include me. But at this point, it's like 5 a.m, 6 a.m. my time when they start calling me. So then I'm woken up quite early in the morning to it. But I mean, I love it.
Do not disturb.
I was going to say, they're calling you on the way to class. When they're going to class, they can call you. That's the only time. But when they're out boozing, you're shut down. You're done. Your party's over.
Oh, it's funny.
I'm out for the night, and then I'm picking up the phone, is screaming on the other end as they're inside. I think it was Wando's one night, and they're like, we're like sharing a fishbowl.
Good alarm clock.
I was like, guys, it's 6 in the morning.
Spectacular. That is spectacular. All right. Well, Kate, get back to studying.
Funny.
Crush your exams. You've crushed this whole semester.
We believe in you.
Unbelievable. What a great time. And Oh man, now you're going to be done and your parents are coming back to pick up some checks for you. You can you can go to some places that you wouldn't have gone by yourself.
I was going to say, make sure that itinerary is all the things that you wanted to do. And all of a sudden you looked at that bank account and said, all right, well, sweet.
I am stacking that itinerary for sure.
Oh, now it's all the culture trail, like all the tours in the museums, all the,
All right, so
totally, all the museums, totally, Armen,
Here's
totally.
how this is going to play out. You're going to come home, you're going to decompress, you're going to get back to used to living, the American lifestyle that we're used to, and then you got to watch your brother graduate, and you're going to be at the celebrations there. So you'll probably sleep for a week when you get home. You'll celebrate Will's graduation. And then we want you to come in for a recap for the summer here. So at some point when you're back and you're, acclimated to our lifestyle and like Billy said, going to Quick Trip and Chipotle and doing all those things, we want you to come in and hang out with us some morning. I know it's going to be early, but your internal clock.
I was going to say, we're going to apologize in advance, but yeah.
I'm going to be screwed up anyway, so this is perfect.
There you go. So come in and see us. We'll bring some donuts in. We'll bring in some, Billy will bring in some breakfast burritos.
Yes.
We'll make it worth your time. But Kate, thank you. Continue to crush it. Thanks for hanging out with us. Good to catch up. Happy birthday belated, by the way.
Thank you very much.
All right. Kappa Kate Sutton. Dude. Living the dream, truly living the dream,
man. I'll tell you this makes me feel real old. I'm getting all the notifications of when I was in college. We took our study abroad trip, our week and a half, 10 years ago this week.
Giddy up.
And all of a sudden you blink and realize how long it's been, man. She's going to have those memories forever. That is so much fun.
And my 20-year Marquette reunion's coming up. That was like a
cool. Oh, you're about to be walking in there like Vince McMahon.
I wish, yeah. By the way, Split, Croatia, the home of Tony Kukoc.
There you go.
Where she went. I just thought
Billy,
I'd tell you.
I can't not feel old just watching Sports Center. Like I said the other day, Ryan Weathers is flirting with a no-hitter. It's like Ryan Weathers was a fat 2-year-old running around toddling around the clubhouse with his dad, Dave, when I was covering the Brewers. It's like that fat little kid who his dad said was going to play offensive line for the Tide, his beloved Crimson Tide, is now pitching in the major leagues.
Pitching in the major leagues. Oh, my God.
You want to feel old coming.
And
I was going to say.
Drive down my street.
and maybe it's Ryan because David Weathers definitely wasn't flirting with any no-hitters.
Stormy? No, Stormy. Stormy was a classic.
No, but he was good. He was
good. All-timer. All right. Good to talk to Kappa Kate. We're going to have Wags join us at 7:30. Doc Hounds tonight. We are going to talk more about the Packers schedule. Your thoughts about it. If you got anything you want to dump your bucket about the schedule, and we're going to talk Brewers because some good stuff happening over at American Family Field. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. The Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you from headquarters on this Friday in the good land. We're headed for a great weekend. We've got the Packers schedule. We've got Brewers, Twins. Brewers a 5-1 homestand. Should have been 6-0. 5-1 though, can't quibble.
No, that's one that you want to get back. But being able to have a 5-1 homestand in the midst of a May, Drew, where you, as we're talking about Packers scheduling, you're trying to find the soft underbellies and the tough runs. This was one of those that you looked at and said, "Ooh, that's a little bit of a daunting May." And to have a 5-1 homestand right there in the middle of it, with guys coming back, albeit for 4 at-bats and Christian Yelich's sake, you like to be able to see that thing rolling. While Churio's kind of struggling since coming back after that one big game. Like, you're finding ways to win when your big guns are still not necessarily humming on full cylinders.
I think it's a cliche too, but I think it's impressive seeing them get right back off the mat after losing the game the way they did on Wednesday night. Kind of a heartbreaker. You can let that linger into a day game. Boom, right away. We're going to put up runs. We're going to take control of the series. We're going to get off the mat, respond to adversity. It's kind of cliche, but I like the way they responded to adversity there. Show a little mettle and character. That was huge.
Yeah, I'm liking it. And yeah, Ren Hefo, suddenly a hit machine.
I was just going to say, you were on it earlier in the week, and he was kind of in the middle of everything on Tuesday night, and then the last 2 nights he's been nails. I wonder, Drew, how much he would admit, or if it did or didn't affect him, like how different his role is here than it has been in years past. Right? I mean, he's been an everyday player pretty much the rest of his career, and now he's kind of relegated to a little bit of a platoon, and whenever you start rolling.
He's one of the woodpeckers now.
Yeah.
They're still doing the small market rallies. It still cracks me up.
Well, the 4 walks yesterday in a row, I made the crack of a small market rally. I had to explain it to my wife. She didn't necessarily understand it. Then I rephrased it to, it's like when the young guns would show up to the well-established slow pitch softball, and the 50-something, 60-year-old group was like, "Hey, we're going to teach these young kids something. You better be dotting this plate. Otherwise, we are going to walk around this entire thing, and it's going to be the worst night ever for that young man standing on the pitcher's mound."
When you played hoops against guys who were old and slow, and they had the old man moves, and they knew how to hold down they'd hand check you and hold your hip down so you couldn't jump. They would do like little things when they're boxing out, like just old man moves. You learn that stuff, and it's like you don't know it.
100%.
You're getting by on athleticism and youth, but the Brewers, like, they've cracked the code. And we're going to talk to Wags, and you can't emphasize it enough. They're winning with pitching.
That's the
thing.
thing.
Pitching, like, their starting pitching was ridiculous this homestand. It's been great.
And their starting pitching was the one thing, Drew, that I was like slightly worried about coming into the year, because there was so much youth, so much inexperience.
And do you really miss Freddie Peralta that much?
Not really at all.
Is that a glaring hole right now? No. And they don't have Priester, and they're going to get him back.
They filled in the spot nicely.
The only time I've thought about Freddie was when I keep seeing these rumblings that the Cubs are going to be trying to trade for him if the Mets keep sliding down.
We can't talk enough about Miz, and that's also good. What we'll talk to Wags about is the development of Miz. The way if he's spotting that slider, good luck.
I got to ask him: have we tapped? Are we tapped? We can't pitch faster, can we?
We might be at the limits of human performance. Well, 1 hour in, Wags will join us at 7:30. We got Hunter Baumgart's recap. That's all coming up. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. To much fanfare, as always, the NFL schedule is out, and the Packers are prominently featured in prime time in all a pair of Thursday night games, both at home, 2 Sunday night games, also both at home, the first ever Wednesday night before Thanksgiving game, and a Monday nighter in Week 17. In fact, there are only 2 noon kickoffs at Lambeau scheduled, Week 10 against the Vikings and Week 15 against the Dolphins. One other quirk is they play 3 of 4 to start the season on the road, but 4 out of their last 5 are at home. Their bye week is Week 11, kind of right in the middle of the season. To baseball, it's a 5-1 homestand for the Brewers.
It's Abbott on the barrel. That is going to be a base hit, and they're going to wave Vaughn. Here comes a throw. No throw. It's cut off. A sneaky send by Matt Erickson.
Brewers TV with the call. 7-1 the final score. Milwaukee with the win over San Diego. The crew now heads to Minnesota. They'll open up a 3-game weekender with the Twins tonight. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all we're going to y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Send our guys after you and make them play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D-hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Friday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, worldwide, the iHeartRadio app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. Drew, Billy, Armen, bringing it to you on this Friday. Very excited for our weekend, first hours in the book. Shout out to Kappa Kate.
That's awesome.
I feel more energized from being with. She's got such good energy. She's living life, man. That semester abroad thing, I never did that. My semester abroad is like, I went to Whitewater for the weekend, hung out with some friends there. I saw my buddies up in Oshkosh.
That was a different broad, yeah. But it was something right there. Sorry, but I do think the culture shock is going to be tough. Like when you're living that type of life, and then you come back home, and it's like, all right, gotta go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, that happens to me if I'm on vacation for a week,
right?
Like if I'm somewhere in the South, I'll definitely start saying Sam. Right, I'll start getting a little bit of a little draw.
Definitely.
I'll try a little Brian Kelly talking about my family.
Yeah,
but you're there for 4 months and then all of a sudden come back. That's a different life.
I spend a week in Costa Rica and my wife's pissing me because I'm trying to speak Spanish a lot.
Right.
It's like I'm not Duolingo.
There's certain trips you don't get over in a couple days. They linger.
It was hilarious because I've been working on my Spanish for several years. Ever since we went to like Sunburn Bowl, and my boy Johnny Vegas and I spent time in Mexico and go to try to visit Latin America and stuff. So I'm trying to work on it, right? And I speak total gringo. I speak like I have enough to get by.
Can you
almost
understand
any situation.
more?
I can understand more than I can speak.
Yep,
definitely. And that got me in some heat. It's just fun. But the people, and it's funny how people appreciate it when you try.
Yes.
And it was like because I just said I speak gringo, and I was,
just enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, I exactly. I said. I soy Drew, I estoy stupido in dos idiomas. I'm dumb in 2 languages, and they would just laugh like, "No, your Spanish is okay. You're okay." I'm like, and then it was like, "Yeah, you're gringo.
You're
like,
trying.
I speak
appreciate
gringo.
it.
But they love the effort.
Habla gringo. You know
speak
what? Gringo, because that's what I got.
Barkley said that he was trying to learn Spanish on Inside, and Ernie's like,
I'm telling you,
buddy. You're not good at one. Why would you try another? Like, hey, let's figure out one. You mastered the one, so let's go and have some fun.
That is one of my deeper professional regrets is that the time I spent like 12 years in baseball clubhouses, I didn't learn Spanish to speak to those guys and be able to get, and they're native because it would have been, they were good. And like now they have the teams are mandated to have translators, but like to be able to talk to those guys, like they were all good. But they were, they were working hard, and had I been able to speak to them more comfortably, it would have helped me out.
There's also a little bit of, like you just mentioned, there's an appreciation that they would greatly have for you trying. And it's one of the coolest things here in Sophia do it of then say, this is what I asked. Now I'm going to get another answer in here, and the back and forth.
Yeah.
It has become one of my favorite parts of the game, but it is a talent that is not an easy thing to be able to master where you can just all of a sudden pick it up.
I had buddies early, and I should have done this, but I had buddies who spent like a month in the off season. They went to Guatemala and did this immersion program, and they came back pretty fluent. And it's like, why didn't I do that with those guys? But it would have been fun to hang in Guatemala.
I was going to say, it's like you would have had no fun there either.
In the off season, but
I appreciate hearing though different guys in different baseball clubhouses. Like I wonder if there's any guys that are trying to learn anything in the Dodgers clubhouse to be able to speak with Yoshi and Shohei. But Shohei speaks a lot better English than people would even know or fathom.
That cracked me up because my boy Cirillo played with Ichiro and got to know him. And when Hideo Nomo came to Milwaukee, and that was like a big deal. And Hideo was like one of the trailblazers, right? And he was at the end of the line. But I walked into the late Phil Garner's office, and he was sitting there with Hideo. And I thought, oh, they're having a meeting or something. I'm like, oh, sorry, Gar, I'll come back later. He goes, no, come on in. Like, Hideo's teaching me Japanese. And Hideo was like, he was trying to teach him some Japanese phrases. And I look, and Hideo, we had to interview him through his translator and stuff, but I suspect that he knew English very well. He just didn't want to
send him out. Yeah.
Like Shohei.
But he had to do the daily. He did the daily thing with the Japanese media following. I mean, he just didn't want to waste time with us hacks, me and Harbor Court, right? And I just looked and I said, what are you doing that for? Hideo speaks English perfectly, better than I do. And Hideo looked at me, he goes, no, he shakes his head like, no, I don't understand. I'm like, dude, come on. The jig is up. I know.
I got you.
I'm on to you, man. It's okay. But I'm on to you.
I remember the video where everyone saw Shohei talking to Cameron Brink when they.
Oh, it's electric.
And then it's like, oh, I guess he knows English now. Like,
by the way, one of the highlights was when Hideo ran the sausage race.
Yes.
He ran it in Brewers shorts, and you could just tell by his thighs that he was a pro athlete and stuff. But he loved the sausage race.
Just gassed everybody.
He loved it. Yeah, and he ran it, and he took it seriously.
That is awesome.
It was a day he wasn't pitching, so they let him run the sausage race. He had a blast.
He's like, man, this is crazy out here. Probably.
We got to
like
throw Miz in that thing. Could you imagine the chorizo? How high that hat would be?
The center of gravity, because he's so tall.
That'd be like 12 feet high.
It would be unreal. There's no,
epic.
You'd have to duck and walk through. Oh my God, it'd be funny.
So while I was gone working on my bad broken Spanish, you guys did an interview last week that we're going to spin through right now.
Yeah, we had a great conversation. Drew a chance to talk to Kevin Florek, who's the CEO of Tellurian, which is a behavioral health hospital and a team that is driven to be able to help people change a little bit of the stigma around mental health, as well as addiction therapy. And they're big time in being able to help a lot of people in the Wisconsin area. They're local, and they locally have an amazing thing going on at Trapper's Turn coming up next weekend that you can be a part of. And Kevin had a chance to talk to us, and we had a chance to talk to him about the group that is going to be at the Tellurian Swing for a Cure, and number 4 might be the main cause of that. Welcome back. This is the Huddle. Billy Schmidt, Armen Sarian with you, and now pleased to be joined from Tellurian Behavioral Health, Kevin Florek, the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, hanging out with us here as they get ready for the Swing for Recovery Celebrity Golf Tournament, 29th annual Tellurian Celebrity Golf Tournament. And Kevin, appreciate the time here today to be able to discuss this. Now, as we have seen for the better part of 3 decades now, the Tellurian Celebrity Golf Tournament bringing so many people together, and this year no different. Man, you got to be working for years in advance to be getting a lineup that features Brett Favre and Frank Caliendo at the top of the marquee. Congratulations on that, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. It's hard to believe we've been doing this for 29 years. And when we started it 29 years ago, it was more of a way to raise awareness. And then over the years is the need for mental health and addiction and homeless places for people to live. The need kept getting greater. So this event became more than just about reducing stigma. It became a lifeline for people who so desperately need mental health and addiction care. So we're excited, and it's going to be an awesome day.
It's going to be a great one. We'll talk a lot more about the event in general in just one second. But Kevin, you mentioned it, the demands have evolved for needs in mental health. And obviously when Tellurian started way back when, with folks coming out of Vietnam and needing you mentioned a lifeline. I think that's the perfect way of explaining it. Is there feels like there's ebbs and flows. It's always changing the stigma around. However, as years go by, the needs for folks' mental health changes. It evolves. The world evolves, and it feels like the trials and tribulations that people are going through personally and a lot of times behind closed doors tend to evolve. How much has that been Tellurian's goal of being able to stay at the forefront, because demands in this space continually are changing?
Yes, the demands have changed, whether it's the opioid epidemic, what kids are facing nowadays with, cyberbullying, it's depression, anxiety, suicide, drug addiction. It continues to get worse and worse and worse. The need gets greater. And unfortunately, government funding and insurance funding does not keep up with the expenses. So you can do one of two things as a provider like Tellurian. You can cut services, or you can raise funds from the community. And that's what we do, because we don't want to not stop helping people. We want to continue to help those in need. And truthfully, we need the help of folks in our community. And so we're always fighting for those in need.
I think it's interesting because I think we're more aware of our mental health as a society than we've ever been in human history, which I think is a good thing.
Yes,
right?
Sir.
But that also creates more need, right?
Yep. Big time need. And it just, I can't tell you how many people. Tellurian serves over 6,000 people a year in Wisconsin alone, and people from the United States. We offer inpatient, outpatient, day treatment. We have psych services. We have psychiatrists. We have addictionologists. We have providers who prescribe meds. So we treat the person both with mental health and addiction simultaneously, which really helps our outcomes, and something we're really proud of.
Well, and Kevin, as you mentioned, and being proud of it, you obviously very proud of the work you do, because it's tremendous stuff to be able to help people when they might not necessarily know the easiest way to help themselves, right? I feel like that when you talk about changing the stigma, It's feeling comfortable and confident and open, being honest and being okay with letting people know that it might not be okay.
It's okay to not be okay. And really, with events like this that we're going to be talking about here in a little bit, it's reducing the stigma because people are ashamed. People think addiction and mental illness is a choice. It's not. It's a medical condition like diabetes, cancer, you name it. It's something that is not a choice. It's something that is a medical condition. And fortunately, when you have a good provider and good counseling, there's hope and help and healing at places like Tellurian that can make a difference, but you got to rise above the fear and the stigma.
Tellurian CEO Kevin Florick joining us here before the Swing for Recovery golf outing featuring Brett Favre and Frank Caliendo.
Yeah, what a star-studded list of celebrities you have. And the great thing about having Frank Caliendo is you have multiple celebrities because he can impersonate any of them, right?
He did an event for us over the winter, and he reminded me of what I would have thought Robin Williams would have been like. He just goes, and he just ran with it, and he was awesome. And we've talked about this as the 29th year, and this is Brett Favre's 4th year coming back, and it's a real gift because he's the Iron Man of football, and most of us grew up idolizing him and what he did on the field. But he made choices, and he had conditions off the field, and he talks about them openly. And he says, "Hey, he dealt with depression, a major opioid addiction that he talked about." And he shares it, and it really helps folks when you see someone like him saying, "Hey, I have a addiction issue." Don Makowski comes and talks about he's been addicted to opioids and pain meds, and here's a guy that some of us older folks watch play football, and he has issues and his mental health issues, and that helps reduce the stigma. And this year we've one of the offensive linemen, Earl Dotson, is a very huge person and a very large African American man. And he lost his son to suicide. And he's going to talk this year and share his story about losing a loved one to suicide, but also talk about stigma for the African American community and males, how it's hard for men to be a quote unquote man, especially in the African American community. So we're really excited about that and having all these really famous people help us raise funds and help us reduce stigma.
Well, it's amazing to hear these stories, right? Because as we know, we treat sometimes professional football players, Packers, NFL stars as larger than life figures. And you forget that these Iron Men, these gladiators are also people, right, that have their own issues. So when it's so powerful to hear the stories from these guys, where a lot of times, you said the ethos of football and the ethos of the NFL sometimes is bottling or suppressing some of that. And to hear these guys do the opposite, which is share that, be vulnerable with their stories, it's pretty incredible. It has a huge impact.
Mental health and addiction does not discriminate. Whether you're an NFL player, whether you're religious, whether you're white, you're purple, whatever, it affects every family and every person. And it doesn't matter who you are, how much or how little you make. And that's what's really cool when you see these kind of Iron Men being vulnerable and saying, "Hey, I have struggled too," and it makes a difference. And on top of it, we have a really good time. It's not all about just mental illness and addiction and homelessness. We share some stories and reduce some stigma, but then we have a lot of fun. So why not have fun raising money and for a good cause? And again, having Frank Caliendo there is going to be worth the price of admission. If you don't know who he is, go YouTube him or Google him, because he's going to be interviewing Brett Favre as John Madden, John Gruden, Stephen A. Smith, Morgan Freeman. Who knows? God knows where he's going to take this. And then he's going to interview Leroy Butler and the Gravedigger, Gilbert Brown, and the Magic Man. And it's going to be a really cool event after the event. So I really encourage folks to sign up, and because it'll be epic.
Armen, that sounds like it's almost going to be Coach Madden, Coach Gruden taking us through the 96 Super Bowl documentary again. I'm excited. The stories that you're going to hear, and then I'll just, boom. What are we talking about, Brett Favre? I picked for Super Bowl MVP.
It doesn't get any better for that for Packers fans. And, when you're interviewing guys like Leroy and Gilbert, that's a show unto itself, as you know.
The Gravedigger, he is very funny. He's
so funny.
He's funny himself. Yep, he's a really good person, by the way.
Well, and you get him and Leroy going. Don't end up talking about the old Michael Jordan cologne, because that'll get Leroy very upset, where all of a sudden it started going to over in Gilbert's locker. Kevin, as you mentioned, it's worth the price of admission. This is like the weird part of the conversation where I have to make sure an event with all of these celebrities, Brett Favre, Frank Caliendo, being interviewed by the host of folks that you just mentioned to us, there's still spots available. People can still be doing this and be a part of this coming up at Trapper's Turn on May 20th. All they got to do is go to Tellurian.org/golf. There are still opportunities for people to be there on the 20th.
Yes, I'm surprised to say that, because I wasn't expecting to say it with the lineup we have this year, that we have not sold out yet. We still have a couple spots. I would encourage folks to come. 18 holes at Trapper's Turn. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then the show afterwards. Like I said, it'll be a private event, so it's not open to the public. And I think you'll really have a great day and raise money for a great cause for people who desperately need Tellurian services.
There's a number of different types of sponsorships as well. The hole-in-one sponsorship includes an autographed gift and photo opportunity with Brett Favre after golf. And obviously all of the moments that Kevin just mentioned there, the stories and the camaraderie and the hope and the excitement around being able to provide help for people in a time where they need it the most. You mentioned it in there that we'll have a lot of fun. Kevin, I say this as well whenever talking about fundraising. It feels good to give back. Like I always feel like that's a tough thing for people to know when you're going to an event like this. It's okay to feel good because you're going to be helping enough people on the back end, correct? Let's
have some fun, right? It doesn't have to be depressing or a long, boring day. This is a great event. And if you are a hole-in-one sponsor, you get to spend some time alone with Brett Favre and get a picture with your foursome. And what's really cool this year is everybody who golfs in this tournament is going to get an authentic game jersey of Brett Favre. So it's a $150 game jersey. And if you are a hole-in-one sponsor, you can meet Brett and he will sign your jersey for you. So, that alone is worth the price of admission.
What a day.
That's an experience you can't get anywhere else.
Can't wait.
What a day, what an experience, an opportunity, and you get to play golf with you and your buddies. So it sounds like it's going to be a great time. And the weather's starting to turn. Yep. We can feel it. So I'm sure it'll be a great day on May 20th.
I just saw this morning, they said the extended forecast is dry for May. So let's root for that.
Let's go.
Those are the three most important letters in golf. Dry.
Yes.
That always makes it a little bit better. Kevin, thank you so much for some time. Thank you so much for the work you and Tellurian have done for so long. And thanks for spreading the word here today about it and helping and giving us some time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate your support and hope to see folks out on the 20th at Trapper's Turn.
We are dominating the Friday edition of the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen bringing it to you. Fox Sports Radio, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, iHeartRadio app, streaming live, Facebook, X, YouTube. Happy to be joined by our halftime correspondent, Scott Dolphin, who was watching, like the rest of us were, to find out when the Packers and Bears are going to meet up. And as it turns out, it's just in time. That game at Lambeau, just in time for Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft and all the injured. Be back at full strength.
Sure, week 5, right? They should be back by then.
Beautiful, yes.
You could be on the PUP list, and your first game back could be that 3:25 start at Lambeau.
Yeah, in with a full ramp up and opportunity to just have the Iceman and his visions and their crosshairs. I'm excited.
Did you see, like, Micah Parsons tweeted and his brother tweeted, Iceman was everything we was asking for.
We needed something.
So they've basically circled that. That kind of tells you that he's going to be on the PUP.
I was going to say, that would eye it up.
That's a game you don't want to lose again. I mean, you've lost 3 of the last 4.
Yeah.
Believe it.
He was good against the Bears last year. I don't think he had a sack, but he chased Caleb a lot at that game at Lambeau quite a bit.
Yeah.
There was the first series. I remember he ran him like all the way to the sideline, and there was a good little moment of them laughing back and forth at each other. That's exactly what you.
He was so close so many times. Yeah.
If Parsons misses the first 4, if he opens on the PUP, which seems plausible if not likely,
I would say likely.
His first 2 games will be against the Bears and the Cowboys at Lambeau.
Good welcome back.
Wow.
Good welcome
Giddy
back.
up.
Yeah, exactly. You want to talk about having
an uncaged.
And that is a perfect thing to circle, because that's got to be a tough thing to identify. Hey, what game in the middle of the season am I hoping to be able to? And obviously you want to be ready for week 1, but for those two to be that might be a nice 1B if you're not ready for week 1.
Either one of those games for him to be back in would be a super bonus for the Packer fans. And Goody said he expect both of those guys back first, 25% of the season, something like that.
They'll be ready and somewhat close. I think the interesting part is also, they're always trying to hold everybody back as much as possible. You just don't want to hear anything about like Malik Neighbors with the Giants, where they had to go back in and clean it up. It's so wild how good these surgeries have become on ACL reconstruction, where you identify and can remember the individuals that don't get back instead of the ones that do.
Remember the day when if you got hurt late in any season, they'd always say, well, he's likely done for all of next year as well. That was just how it was. Not anymore.
Guys are coming back from Achilles now. It's crazy.
Yeah, that Tatum Achilles one is one of the craziest things ever.
And in baseball, Tommy John is basically maintenance for pitchers now. I mean, that's what it is in a lot of ways.
They're fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So Packers 3 of 4 on the road to open with a Thursday night home opener in week 3. So that's week 2.5, I guess you could say.
And I think I can't be for sure on it. I think it's the first time that I can remember at least them have 2 Thursday night games. They've played Thursday and then Thursday Thanksgiving and then the Thursday right after.
6 primetime games, 5 of them at home.
Mm-hmm.
And Milwaukee season ticket holders are happy because they're getting 2 day games against the Vikings and Bears.
You're dang right, Dolph.
Sweet.
It's a rare moment for
rare
gold package thriving.
You don't want to be driving back at
that's the
11
biggest
o'clock
thing.
at night.
The biggest thing for gold packages that they want, and I'd say most Packer fans coming across the state, more and more lately we've heard, well, we want the noon games on Sunday because it's just easier, but hey, we're getting a lot of night games now. So
not many of those, is there?
Billy and I want empty I-43 for us.
Yeah.
No I-19, but media starts with
cruise
me.
that thing like nobody's business. And the interesting one for the gold package is, like, when I was growing up, that would have been the least. I look at 5 primetime games. We don't have one of them because that was a baked-in day off of school that you were potentially having the one after.
Sure.
That was going to be a excuse, and then my mom was going to have to hear about it in the receptionist's office because everybody would yell at the secretary for keeping her kid home from school after the Packers game.
Inside job.
Yeah,
nepotism.
So what? School isn't as important? No,
we're education workers here. We'll set an example, right?
That's right.
Sorry, we have standards. We need to go get a win.
Sure.
But it is loaded up with the idea of the NFL wanting Lambeau Field at night, and the streamers, I think, also wanting it for the content, which is maybe the more important one here.
All right, so Dolph, we were talking about the home game, the October 11th game, Packers Bears week. Likely to be, I love that 3:25 window for that game. Likely to be the return of Micah Parsons. But where do you stand on the Christmas Day noon kickoff Packers Bears?
Not a fan. I don't like my team playing on Christmas period. I'll never forget the year the Bears played the Packers at night. Nice snowfall Christmas night, Lambeau Field. But I was away from my family the whole night. But in those days, FM 106, we hosted bus trips to every Packer game. And somebody had to go along. Well, I signed up before the season schedule come out. Yeah, I'll take the Bear game. Well, it was Christmas. So, the kids opened their presents and I was gone the rest of the day. Yep. That did not go over well. And
that's rough, man.
It is. So I'm just not a fan of my team playing on Christmas, period.
And are you a fan of other teams playing on Christmas?
That's fine.
That's what I like. Yeah, that's what I love.
Well, the media starts with me. We're thinking about how it affects our worldview, Billy.
It can be a day where I don't have to watch football. The NFL doesn't have to intrude on every facet.
That's how I feel.
They're creeping up as it is, right?
That's how I feel. I mean,
they had us glued to the set in mid-May because they did a better job. I like it better when guys are tweeting the draft picks 3 picks before the commissioner reads them. I like it better when we know the whole schedule. I don't even have to watch the 7:00 show. Right. But last night they had the clamps on somehow.
Yeah, they did. As far as holidays go, no, I'm intrigued. I like the fact the Packers are playing Thanksgiving Eve. That'll be a great night for football.
That'll be fun.
And that whole 5 games in 3 days, something like that. Mm-hmm. That's going to be entertaining. Christmas Day, though, even if the Bucs were playing, I rarely ever we don't turn the TV on Christmas Day.
Well, that's the thing.
Family's over and you're visiting.
See, that's what you got to do. You got to enjoy it with the family. That's even better. Families coming together, watching ball, watching football, watching the Packers beat the brakes off of the Bears. That's a beautiful.
It's the Christmas tradition now, maybe. I get your point. It's like, okay, we've had the NBA on Christmas. People just accept that as tradition. We had the Andy Williams Christmas show, right, Drew? I mean, those were our Christmas traditions. Well, maybe this is the
also
new one.
A Christmas Story is bad. Like the movie is so overrated.
I'm with you
on the entire thing. So I don't need to see him walk down in the bunny outfit again.
No, there's better Christmas movies. I'm not saying.
There is.
Yeah, you watch them for the whole month leading up. Then Christmas is here. It is a business trip. And we are getting ready for football.
It's a noon game, so you can still do festive. You can still roast chestnuts on the open fire after the game, right at night.
Oh, sure.
And you can still go caroling around the block. That's the stuff.
But who's doing that on Christmas Day night?
It's
by 1 o'clock, mostly everything's kind of done. You're just waiting for the ham to finish up and listening to as many of Aunt Sue's stories as there are.
Right, you can have dinner and still. I get it. You can have dinner. I mean, the people like not us that aren't working are still going to be fine. You open Christmas presents in the morning. You get to wear your brand new Packers sweatshirt for the game. Packers get a big win, and you have your your yams at night or whatever.
Think of all the jerseys that are going to get opened and thrown on for that game throughout the day. Oh man.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'll watch the game. I'll be watching, but I probably won't be watching the other game or the other two games. How many games are on Christmas Day? I don't even know.
3 of them. Yeah, the night game is going to be awesome. Rams, Seahawks, first time that they're matching up.
I do, but I don't know, something philosophically. If you're going to play Christmas Day, the first game should be at 3. Like that noon is too early. Christmas.
Yeah, I guess it's really bad.
Then I'm just sitting there waiting for it.
It's like, hey, everyone get off your phone and stop updating your fantasy teams.
I got to figure. I got to get these parlays in.
We're here to sit around and sing jingle bells. We're not here for you guys to, get your parlays in.
That's going to be an issue in some households, even in Wisconsin.
Absolutely, but then again, kids being on their phones is an issue every day in every household. So I don't think that's going to be
Christmas Day brunch is that hits.
I forget. Is that a streaming game? I forget.
Netflix.
Yep.
Which is fine because everyone has Netflix. That's the one thing people won't complain about. That was my take earlier.
So they're on Netflix. Are they on Netflix on Thanksgiving Eve too?
Yes, twice on Netflix. Twice on Netflix in 5 weeks.
And I struggle with it because Justin in Jacksonville, I totally get it, right? As a fan of Christmas football, but now as a dad of 2 boys, I feel for the players and media people that be away from their families on Christmas morning, especially the ones that are. I totally get it. That's also what you sign up for, right? Like, it's a difficult part in the NFL because even if you don't play a game, I got bad news for you. It's a Friday in the NFL. You're working that day, right? It is the business is going to roll on, and that's going to continue to play.
I get it. For 12 straight years before we had these fancy computers in these buildings, I worked every single Christmas morning from the time I got into radio until maybe 15 years ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we've worked holidays in this business a lot. You still have to like it, though.
No.
Well, but I mean, it's a tough one of like the better, and this is the one that I've talked to a lot of people of. If you like it and you want to, the better you get, the more nights and the more holidays that you're going to end up working because that's when people are going to be around television.
It's not just like players, coaches, they're compensated. They signed up for it. You're a concessionaire or something and you got to drag your ass out there. Or if you're a parking lot attendant, elevator operators, not ideal. No. And what about locally? What about for a Packers-Bears game? For some establishments would be a windfall for bars. Are they going to open at noon? Like a lot of bars will open at 5 on Christmas Day.
Sure.
I think you have to now.
Now they probably have to. And so it does affect, there is a trickle down to the general populace, right? It's not just, well, I'm home, I'm going to be in my jammies watching the game.
It's not just you fat cats up in the press row,
Fat
eating catered foods.
100%.
We'll be right here eating cousin subs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It's in Chicago.
In Chicago, we'll be sitting here at headquarters.
That's
right. So we'll be right in this room.
That is a good stretch, though, for the Packers. I mean, they have 4 out of 5 home games, and the only road game is Chicago with limited travel. But there is still travel, but that is a good stretch. I mean, you want to talk about advantageous, you get that stretch at the end of the year.
Maybe they can avoid the wild card with that schedule at the end of the year. They're finally, for once, right? For the first time in a while.
Let's go, Dolph. Let's go.
How consistent the
Finally
Bears
start throwing some bows over on that side.
Come on. The Bears been in the playoffs.
Hey, is it too much to ask
Curtis
to not be the 7th seed this year, Armen?
So
Scott Wembenyama with a big old elbow in
elbow.
the neck. That's what I'm talking about. Let's ride.
Here's the other thing.
How consistent the Bears been?
They weren't expected to be there, though. Now they are.
Well, there goes that.
They have to do the deep dive because the Packers have had the early bye. It's seeming like the last 4 or 5 years.
Felt like
early
a lot,
bye, and now they kind of have that later bye. Plus, they got the mini buys with the Thursday game and a Friday game. But from November the 9th until December 5th, a span of 26 days, the Packers play 2 games.
Wow.
That's a get right time, man. That is rest. And so there is no excuse for them. Now, the back half, 4 of the last 5 games at home, the back half, but that stretch sets you up to be as healthy as you're going to be. So if you could pick the schedule, I don't know that you could pick much of a better. If you could handcraft and hand select,
with you on that.
I don't think you could pick it much better.
No, it would be tough. It would be tough to do. And also, you get a decent amount of your most important games later. They're all mixed through, right? Like I thought the other oddity that you pointed out was there's no back-to-back division games.
Nope.
Where it's felt like you've had to play 3 of 4 a number
never
of
happened
times.
in the divisional era since they went to the NFC North. It's never
I didn't know
happened.
that there were
no back-to-back division games. And you got the soft open. Like Vikings, Jets, Falcons, Buccaneers for the games without Parsons. I'll take that.
Yeah.
I mean, again, if you had to hand pick opponents, those are pretty good ones.
The Vikings one is beautiful with the amount of unscouted look conversation that we're going to get because you don't know who's going to be the quarterback necessarily.
It's going to be
you
Kyler.
think it's going to be Kyler. You know what you've seen him play. But them on that fast track and all the designed of deep balls to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison.
Sure.
I'll test that Packers secondary right out of the gates.
Yeah,
that's
and
sure.
that's always most years that's a good game, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Tampa game, their 3rd road game, their 4th game will come after the mini bye because it's after the Thursday, right? So you get an extra time for that to hydrate and get ready for the heat down in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
This, I don't know that you could have asked it for a much of a better schedule. Now, obviously, the things vary and there's ebb and flow, and it's not, as Wayne always tells us, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. Okay.
You mentioned the Tampa one.
This is
It's big. And with the heat is almost like the October time, the best time to be dealing with it, right? Like it's not like it's been cooled off in September in Milwaukee and in Wisconsin and Green Bay. Because you go there in December, you're used to 30s and 40s. That 75 is going to slap a lot different. Right.
And the Fighting Halfleys visit Green Bay on December 20th. And we all know what Miami wins. They've never won a game below freezing.
Isn't that crazy?
That number hasn't happened.
I can't believe that. I mean, when you think of the division they're in with Buffalo and the Jets, you'd
stumble into one or two.
Right.
I'm old enough to remember when the Falcons were a dome team from the South and came up and won a playoff game with Mr. Vick.
Oh, in the snow, right?
That changed a lot of the way people thought.
That was like a turning point.
Yes,
for
about
first under 32 degrees.
About
does happen.
domes, about everything. Maybe
home
Malik will be
field
the first
advantage
one.
isn't that big a deal, right?
Yeah, I also remember the Jags going to Denver in the playoffs.
Yes, Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
That was a great group, man. That was a good team.
And I mean,
with
even
Mark
more,
Brunell.
if indeed there is any home field, you mentioned Miami, then you also have 2 dome teams in Detroit and Houston that be playing there. Now, Detroit's a hard one to call a dome team because of how physical they play and how their running style will translate outdoors.
I saw them on a really cold day at Soldier Field right after Christmas in the last week of the season, and they didn't look like a dome team that day.
Detroit is one of the more fascinating teams to me. I think they have as much boom or bust potential as anybody in this league.
I agree.
Because they got one of the easiest schedules, or the slated easiest schedule that everyone put together.
Well, they have
when they're good, they can still be very, very
They have
good.
the best quarterback
in the division.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Don't they?
Hold on.
Well, the most accomplished. He's the only one that's been to a Super Bowl.
He's the most accomplished. I think he's very good. Do you think he's the best one?
I do. I really do.
But
I think
he's not more. Does he have more natural talent than Caleb? Probably not.
Not natural talent. I'm just talking about
but experience and just like
he's the guy. If I had to pick between the four of them, I'd probably pick him.
One game for all the Tostitos, you probably would cast your
I would take Love. I would take Love. But
are you contractually obligated to say that?
No, because I don't know if the game's outdoors, right? And I don't know if I'm going to have to be forced to move, because that's the only thing that Goff doesn't have, which he might get tested a little bit more of this year.
He's good. I mean, when he's in rhythm, he can go 15 for 15.
I'll tell you, when they're at their best, though, I'd be taking Kyler Murray, because I've actually seen that guy at his best dominate the league for a stretch of time.
He's another guy, though. Is he going to be able to stay healthy for 16 games? Jared Goff, to me, I just love the dude's story, man. He was just, the Rams just said, we don't want you anymore.
Get out of here.
You're probably not going to last in Detroit either, but get the hell out of here. We're taking a guy that's better than you. And then what does he do? He goes there and he thrives.
Dolph, I don't know that I've ever seen a more difficult life switch when I watched my man on Hard Knocks hitting the golf ball off of the bluff, basically, in Southern California with his swimsuit model girlfriend. He's like, this is amazing. We're quarterback of the Rams, going to the Super Bowl. This is awesome. And they're like, enjoy Flint, Michigan. Here you go. Now you're in New Richmond, Michigan, 25 miles outside of Detroit. Yeah. Welcome in, bud. This is a little bit different life.
How about that?
A little bit of a shock. So the tenderloin of the Packers season, the season will be made or broken with that stretch that begins with that Tampa Bay game, because they're coming off that Thursday, kind of the mini bye.
Yeah.
They go to Tampa, home against the Bears, home against the Cowboys, at Detroit, home against Carolina on a Thursday night, and then at New England, and then Minnesota, then the bye. That stretch that will make or break the season right there.
That's fair. And I mean, everyone will point to the back half of it, but going into the bye, Drew, you have to be putting yourself in a position to then make a run. If you walk out of that thing like 5-5, then you're in a big uphill climb in that back half of the schedule. You're running through a number of teams that you think are going to be playoff teams. I think Dallas is going to be contending once again for the playoffs. I think their defense should be better. And I mean, we found it out. Carolina is no slouch a year ago. I think they're going to get better, and I think that's going to be a really fun game with the Bears and Panthers.
Opening
week
weekend.
1 with 2 former number 1 overall picks.
Yeah, they were a playoff team, right?
They won their division, and I mean, gave the Rams all they could handle in that playoff game, if I remember correctly. So those are really, really fun outfits.
Bears, is it the toughest schedule in the NFL? Is that was
by
like the number one?
Percentage.
By winning percentage.
You know, but I look at it and I'm like, okay, you got to go to Seattle, you got to go to Buffalo. Those are 2 tough road trips, but everything else looked manageable. I don't think there's any Georgia or Alabamas in the NFL. Every team is any given Sunday. Yeah. So I'll give them a fighting chance.
Yeah, and also there's no Purdue's in the NFL, right? Like, so at some point you're gonna run into everybody.
That's a good one.
What is the most dangerous? What's the rake the Packers can step on, a la Cleveland last year? I don't see them losing at the Jets, but you never know.
I see that's the problem.
Falcons.
I think Billy said it right. They've shown they could do it, and the NFL has shown they could do it. Now I agree. I wouldn't predict a loss to the Jets, but Carolina again won't be easy. I don't think
Falcons is a home opener at night. You wouldn't think that they would not be fired up.
What about at New Orleans?
Hardcore rakes. New Orleans also might be better than people expect, but that's a really, really tough place to play. I'd circle it with New Orleans, and I will throw the Jets in there. Like, I mean, you want to talk about if they've been building everything, their home opener, sleepy thought on a Sunday afternoon in the Meadowlands, and you get nipped. That could definitely happen.
One of these years, they have to be decent, right?
You would think.
They are playing American football every single year. You've got to be getting better at some point.
Well, we said that about the Bears, and it came through after 20 years. But what is decent?
Now.
What does decent mean is the question.
Well, I mean, maybe have a winning record one of these years. I mean, they've got the longest drought in professional sports.
Right. Well, the Jets beat the Packers a few years ago. I mean, I don't think any game in the NFL is it's just not. I mean, especially the Packers have shown they can get dragged down and get nipped by those teams. So
Jets need to go back to the Namath uniforms and stick with them. Stop going back to those retro.
Has there been a team that has messed up the retro uniforms more than the Jets?
Probably not.
I feel like they always are trying to do some kind of tweak of what it used to look like.
You put your name on your helmet. Jets. Oh, that's original. Did you spend millions of dollars in your marketing department to come up with JETS across the side of your helmet? Jets.
Dolph, that's the consulting job I'm dreaming of.
There you go.
That's the consulting job I'm dreaming of.
You know, I love it.
I think you should spell the name.
Yeah.
Spell the name. Pay me my money.
Hey, the Bengals did it for like 40 years. Let's just put Bengals on our helmet.
Why wouldn't you want to reawaken the echoes of Rich Kotite?
Yes.
One of the worst coaches in NFL history.
Great reference. Great reference, Armen. Dolph, thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
As always, let's finish up. It's halftime is over. Let's have an Uncrustable and an orange slice. We'll get back after it. It's the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Guys were late all the time. Guys were, showing up to film whenever they want to show up. Guys were missing meetings. Like, it was one of the craziest things I personally experienced. We literally, if the plane took off at 2:00, we weren't leaving until 4:30. I'm being so serious, bro. It was crazy, dog. Guys were an hour late to the plane. It got to the point where I knew not to show up until like an hour after they said the plane was taking off. It was crazy.
So who's the teammate that's most likely to be late? Well, all of yours, obviously, because nobody gets fined.
Giannis is going to show up whenever he wants, really. I think that it's kind of just came with the territory at that. And once I kind of saw what was going down, I was like, hey, man, more power to you. They ain't going to find you. Just do what you do.
Right.
Except when we're going to Dallas. That's when I was like, all right, come on.
Right now, we're getting fined for missed free throw box outs.
Honestly, that's a good one. I'm not mad.
Miles Turner on a podcast making some news, describing the dysfunction of the Bucks under Doc Rivers.
Woo!
Nobody fine. Guys were late. Guys were late for film, for meetings, for flights.
He said he was too, so
not great, Bob.
Well, he definitely joined in. He had a little herd mentality. He said, let's have some fun. Game recognized game with Stewie and Miles. Brianna Stewart is the other one that you hear there. And recognizing the game of like, hey, man, show up whenever they want if they're not going to find you. Clearly, there was a mail it in, cash it in thought on the back end, and maybe that's why Doc's meeting fell on some deaf ears when he said, "I really thought you guys were going to be that team that I'd take to the finals, but nobody was expecting us to be able to do anything, and then nobody ended up caring. Nobody cared enough to be able to make their own rules." Yeah, maybe there was a little bit more Miles Turner this day, and then just us having to watch what it transpired like on the basketball floor.
Clearly, Bobby Portis today, obviously, he's asking, is this AI? So taking Giannis aside, Giannis posting a video playing basketball with his son saying, we're just minding our business, or I think something like that. So I don't know. That is interesting. Obviously, Miles Turner wanted to say this. It wasn't like he was caught in this discussion, off guard. It was on his podcast. It was clearly pointed. I don't know. Everyone wants to make this a Giannis issue, which, yes, you're responsible for yourself, but it sounds more like a Doc issue to me. But hey, listen, I mean, a lot of people, it's building up Giannis to be the villain now. So it seems like to me. So interesting times here in Milwaukee, only 5 years removed from a world championship.
Jim Ozarski of the Journal Sentinel had an interview with him a couple weeks ago, early May. And some more of it came out where Giannis is talking about how he's healthy and he's never had this, where he's had this stretch of health and he's going to go in the lab and try to add stuff to his game, and with no media and nobody watching, he can experiment, make mistakes.
Yeah, no doubt.
I feel good. I feel really good, he said. And I love when people doubt me. I love it. I want more doubt. Everybody on your social media, follow me on that stuff and talk bleep to me all year long, all summer, all off season. That's all I want to see. I want to see doubt. No compliments.
He's going to have a huge year next year.
Tell me how much I suck and didn't make the playoffs and I'm not good and all that, or I'm not good at this. Just keep on putting gasoline in the fire and just keep adding to that. That's what I love. I love when people don't believe in me. And when I come back, I'll do what I'm supposed to do.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I have not seen one shred of video that hasn't been saying he's a top 5 player in the league. Like, I don't
yeah, that's true.
Where is the doubt coming from? That's a lot. I like that manufacturing in there. I like that one.
It is a little bit, and Roger's fed on that too. But there are folks who say, like, oh, look, he's old and
might be declining, always hurt.
Yeah, it's going to be epic. All right, Paul Wagner is going to join us at 7:30. This edition of the Huddle is flying by, so buckle up. Our final hour of the week is going to be epic. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. To much fanfare as always, the NFL schedule is out, and the Packers are prominently featured in prime time in all a pair of Thursday night games, both at home, 2 Sunday night games, also both at home, the first ever Wednesday night before Thanksgiving game, and a Monday nighter in Week 17. In fact, there are only 2 noon kickoffs at Lambeau scheduled, Week 10 against the Vikings and Week 15 against the Dolphins. One other quirk is they play 3 of 4 to start the season on the road, but 4 out of their last 5 are at home. Their bye week is Week 11, kind of right in the middle of the season. To baseball, it's a 5-1 homestand for the Brewers.
It's that one on the barrel. That is going to be a base hit, and they're going to wave Vaughn. Here comes a throw. No throw. It's cut off. A sneaky send by Matt Erickson.
Brewers TV with the call. 7-1 the final score. Milwaukee with the win over San Diego. The Crew now heads to Minnesota. They'll open up a 3-game weekender with the Twins tonight. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake
with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with the number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on 1. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yes. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on 1. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play. Be right, all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, D hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
And Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Friday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew, Billy, and Armen hanging out at headquarters. Launching into a great weekend, we hope. Little wind in our sails. Brewers beating the Padres yesterday on getaway day. They play the Twins early start tonight. Packers schedule's out. It's about as good as it could be. I haven't been this, you're worried about previous schedules in recent years. This one I feel pretty good about.
Well, and Drew, the more and more that you start doing some comparison around the NFC North, because I can't say last night that I watched much of the schedule release show. So I was missing the hot takes that people had, even though people are already asking the question to start out on Get Up this morning. Can the Packers capitalize on the favorable early schedule?
3 road games.
We're looking even more at the favorable back end of the schedule. It is that's a hard thing to not love. At Minnesota, at New York, playing the Jets, home on Thursday night against the Falcons, at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2 NFC South teams, and 2 teams that finished last in their divisions. You would think you'd be able to capitalize early. We love the 4 out of 5 back end home games, and in the middle of it, like you said, you laid it in pretty good of starting with that Tampa Bay game at Tampa, home against Chicago, home against Dallas, home against at Detroit, home against Carolina, go to New England, who played in the Super Bowl last year. That's a meat of the schedule against all teams that are expected to be near the playoffs. Then you wrap up at home against Minnesota before the bye. You're going to know a ton about your team, and you could put yourself in a driver's seat, not to get ahead of ourselves maybe a little bit too much, but you put yourself in a driver's seat in the NFC if you have wins against all those teams that you think you'd be scrapping for a potential wild card maybe with.
Yep. 4 out of 5 games at home to close the season, including warm weather visitors from Houston and Miami.
Yeah, and then another dome team in the Detroit Lions, who, as I said, look around the rest of it. Detroit, currently the betting favorites at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, if you're into that kind of thing, right now at plus 160. Packers are plus 215 to win the NFC North for the first time since 21. The Lions, Drew, play their 3 road division games all in the final 4 weeks of the season. Week 15 at Minnesota. Then they play the Giants, who some people think are going to be much improved. They host New York, then finish at Chicago and at Green Bay.
if the Packers end up playing on Saturday in their season finale, which is unlikely because they're firing
Monday
up
night game.
Monday night game, right? But if they were to play Saturday, they would have played 6 of the 7 days of the week during the season.
There's definitely a lot of irregularities with the schedule from what we've been used to maybe in the last 3 decades. But the times are changing in the NFL, and they're going to keep putting in, there's a record number of international games. There's going to be more of those forever. There's going to be more Wednesday games. I would almost guarantee that Thanksgiving Eve is going to become a tradition. All those things are going to start, and that's just going to be what it is. And this is kind of the new world we're going to be in. But Dobler chiming in, good schedule, not many noon games. By the way, he's in the YouTube comments. You can jump in on the stream anytime. Amen. The fewer the better, makes more opportunities for the Packers to be televised for us transplants. He is an out-of-towner. Hashtag Go Pack Go. So Dobler chiming in with his opinion. But yeah, this is the new world of scheduling that we're going to be in. Holidays, Friday games, Wednesday
everything
games.
But Tuesday.
Everything but Tuesday. Yep.
So
For now, everything but Tuesday.
Well, I mean, they played on every day of the week during the pandemic. I think that was the time that they ended up touching it. And then they're like, wait a second. So people would watch an NFL game on Wednesday?
That's right.
Maybe we try that. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, 30 million people watch this game. I guess we're going to have to throw another one on there. So if we don't like it, just stop watching it. However, that's never going to happen.
Never going to happen.
You mentioned the Thanksgiving Eve might become a tradition. Oh no, it did become a tradition.
Mm-hmm.
This year will be the first one of the tradition. And they're taking over. They're just boxing out more and more real estate, which again, I know this might be it's not hot take hump day, but this should further incentivize the NBA to do, I think, what everybody would like them to do. Shift that season back.
Yep.
Right. Start that thing on New Year's Eve. Right. Maybe you make New Year's Eve your new day because Christmas Day is now the NFL. So unless you want Christmas Eve, but you fire it up in the back end of December and then you get even more out of the way of the NFL.
I agree.
And right now, Drew, we could be starting the NBA playoffs when we are kind of looking at it saying, wow, we only have a certain amount of games left. This is a prime feeding schedule, you would think.
NBA could peel back to 65 in my book.
100%. I'm right there with you. And if you started it back in there,
get rid of some back-to-backs and 4 and 5s and all that crap.
100%. And these games are, and this product is entertainment as much as it's the love of competition and the spirit of sport. It's a television product. And the more nights that these networks that are pumping a large majority of the money into the league want content and want inventory, they'll fill it up. I think the NBA would definitely be incentivized once again. Just continue thinking about that in this next CBA and the expansion. Shift that bad boy back. Come on.
Bykowski, Alex Bykowski, looks like Alex Bykowski on YouTube. It's you definitely want to have your toughest games between week 7 and 14. Hopefully momentum will be established. We want to hold the fort until Micah comes back. And that's the big thing. It almost seems like the NFL was like, look, we're going to make this super obvious for you to put him on the pup. Get through those first 4 so he's healthy for Bears in those big Cowboy games because those are big marquee games, especially the Cowboy game for the NFL. They probably want Mike in there, and I'm sure the Packers do as well. So that seems like it's set up for that situation as well. But Mike has said his goal is week 1. He put that lion on there, if you remember, on Twitter, and the line and the time, or was that Tucker? I don't remember. But whatever it was, he wants to be ready for week 1. So we'll still wait and see. But I would imagine that does seem obvious.
Well, and Drew, you and I talked about it yesterday that I kind of consider that 325. That's a primetime game, right? It might not get slated into the night game.
I feel like it is. The country watches.
The country's going to be watching them on, I would assume, that first week against Minnesota. And definitely that's a Burkhardt Brady game when the Bears and Packers play week 5. That Dallas game is super intriguing, and you can play yourself right back into that main slot against the Lions. They're going to be one of the most focused on teams throughout the season. And it doesn't forecast anything. It doesn't promise anything, but the NFL kind of tells shows their hand a bit as to who they're anticipating being the prime players with how they lay out the schedule.
Yep. 877-794-1973 gets you to the talking text line. You can also comment on YouTube, as Armen mentioned. Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling, employee owned for 40 years. Billy, who's hot?
Well, first off, our friend Dobler is always hot on the YouTube comments, and my man said Garrett Mitchell yesterday, first time without a strikeout since April 28th.
Let's go.
Let's give the Dobler a round of applause saying something nice about Garrett Mitchell.
Let's go. That's
Come on, Dobler. That's what we need going in on a Friday. Garrett Mitchell was hot yesterday in a 7-run outburst for the Brewers. He was a part of the 2-hit club. Andrew Vaughn, a pair of hits. Luis Rengifo, 2 hits. Garrett Mitchell, 2 hits. And that man, number 13, Luis Rengifo, came in to play third base. He's played a ton of different spots and 3 consecutive multi-hit games, Drew. He is starting to really feel it. And to have somebody in the lineup who has been there, done that around the big leagues, some would, the old cliche would have been a professional hitter. Got to be tough, though, when your professional hitting experience has come playing every day, and now he's serviced to a little bit of a different spot. Who's not hot? Your boy Griffin Koenig. I felt bad for the California product yesterday because my man could not find that strike zone at all.
No.
It felt like he needed the old wiffle ball shield that would be back there that you're actually trying to hit for the strikes, because he was not locating anything on 4 walks, 6 runs, all of them earned by the Brewers, 3 in the first inning, 3 in the second. Kyle Schwarber remains hot. League leading 18 bombs. He hit another one last night in his former park at Fenway Park. 18 leads all of Major League Baseball. Nick Kurtz went yard yesterday, as well as another guy who sadly has found his way into the hot category. And maybe, Drew, one of the reasons why the Cardinals have remained in the hot category at 25 and 18. Jordan Walker had himself a blast yesterday, a double in the 9th inning, part of a 2-run rally that the Cardinals had. He homered earlier on in the game, 2-hit performance for the Redbirds as they came back and won against the A's yesterday. I think a lot of people were forecasting the demise of the St. Louis Cardinals. I was celebrating and dancing on the grave last year, where every single game it felt like they were releasing a new record low in attendance. And it's early, but it looks like they're maybe hanging around a little bit longer than people anticipated.
Not Comedy Central anymore.
No, far from.
Kyle Harrison, guys, ERA flirting with under 2 now. I mean, he's really been incredible. I still can't find him on a Cy Young futures, although you can get Quinn Priester plus 25,000. But I cannot find him. But I'm telling you, Kyle Harrison is sort of the revelation we saw with Quinn last year during the year. He's been pitching incredible. He's 4-1 now. He has a 1.5 WAR already. Incredible numbers for him. And 48 strikeouts. So just great stuff to see from the
Did you go to the Potawatomi Sportsbook and move that Jacob Mizorowski number?
I didn't do it, but somebody might have.
Because yesterday, Drew, when we were on here talking about the 10 strikeout performance by Miz, and it was at 14-1. Mm-hmm. Wake up this morning, it's at 8-1.
That boy's dropping right there.
Many people putting him right in the center of that Cy Young candidate conversation.
Shout out to our friends at Donovan Jorgensen. If you need an install for a new air conditioner, perhaps, or maintenance or tune-ups, service repairs, check them out at donovanandjorgensen.com.
Do you think they're going to be hot this weekend?
Yeah.
Donovan Jorgensen.
Donovan Jorgensen, yeah.
It might be kind of hot this weekend as it hits 80 for the first time. Somebody turning that bad boy on for the first time this weekend.
Here's one for you, and I'd like to ask the people at Donovan and Jorgensen this question. How come it's like a badge of honor that I went all the way until late October before I turned on the heat at my house? And then the first day it's 80. It's like, let's get that AC on.
Yeah, that's
crank that thing on your cool.
What are we doing? There is no honor in being hot, yet people take honor. Well, I just put on a couple extra pairs of socks and a couple of hoodies, and
that was good.
Got under the blankets. I'm not turning my heat on. But when it gets hot out, it's like, oh, this is brutal. Turn it on, get the AC on.
We got to get this fan rolling right instantly as quick as possible.
Because in these parts, we fish on ice for walleye and crappie and not on oceans for blue marlin and snapper. That's just the way it is. We're comfortable.
That's fair,
cold.
hardy.
Yeah, we're hardy. We're comfortable being
By the
cold.
way, the Sultan of the Simile over there, he changed his prompt today to recognize waffle eaters.
Hey, you waffle eaters?
His hour 3 tweet yesterday was, okay, you pancake eaters. Like, is that a cut? Is that you?
Why are you digging at people, dude?
Waffles.
Now it's just gonna be a trend.
That's it. I'm putting Armen Sarian in the not category with Donovan Jorgensen for talking smack about our listeners.
Our talk about waffles and pancakes. I did volunteer Billy to bring in breakfast burritos when Kappa Kate visits us in person.
Oh, nice.
Just saying.
Well, I was gonna say, do we want burritos or do we want pancakes? Do we want to be pancake eaters? I think that's a great question.
I'll eat anything.
I can fire up the griddle right here, and I mean, in all reality, I can just slide this thing right over here.
We'll stream it. We'll put a camera on it.
Yeah. We were talking to friends yesterday.
Cakes cam.
You know how it is, like how rare it is for your wife to give you a compliment, and especially in public.
It is.
Usually it's just
You allowed to do that?
Jabroni doesn't know how to load the dishwasher. Jabroni leaves toothpaste in the sink.
I took the garbage out. Well, you're supposed to.
I got the Blackstone compliment. My wife was telling friends how good breakfast is on the Blackstone, how good everything is, and she's like, you know how usually when you make pancakes inside, the first one's a test, you throw the first one away. You don't do that in the Blackstone because they're always perfect.
Come on. Now.
Well, and frankly, the first one's the best one because it's got the most bacon grease still sitting right there.
Exactly.
Oh, good point. I didn't think about that factor.
Yes.
You haven't really used the Blackstone.
Bacon on the Blackstone is so good. It's next level. Even turkey bacon, which my wife prefers, and I normally wouldn't like as much.
With it a tick, yep.
But it's so good on the Blackstone. Crisps up. It's sometimes hard to tell if it's a high quality turkey bacon. It's hard to tell.
I don't understand turkey bacon. I'll be quite honest with you. I've never understood it. It's not bacon. So you think you're eating bacon, but you're not because it's turkey, which is good. But it's different.
Healthier, but it's
it's just like
you got to come over for some of mine though.
Yeah, just like a black bean burger. You know you're not eating a burger, but you got to flip it around a little bit.
Don't call it a burger. I'm sorry.
But
if it's turkey bacon, don't call it
We
bacon.
went,
Don't call it
so
that.
what? Turkey fried strip?
Turkey strip. Turkey strip. I mean, I'm sorry. It's what it
turkey
is.
strip. Due respect to our friends at at Oscar Mayer or whoever else makes bacon, but I always went Newski's or Usinger's. But the thick cut, the Newski's peppered bacon is really good.
Pretty impressive stuff.
The thick cut Usinger's did me on Sunday for Mother's Day brunch. Phenomenal.
Ooh, okay. Because I've gone the thick cut, and I'll be honest, I've done the Kirkland brand a number of different times, which is never a bad one over at Costco. However, I don't necessarily know that I need 8 pounds.
That's the tough thing about Costco. You buy more than you need.
That's the tough thing. All of a sudden, I sit there. I'm like, wait, I have 6 pounds of the most frozen bacon of all time over here. I don't know exactly what I'm about to do with this.
Yeah, you just got to make
beefarino. You
just
just bought too much.
Well, maybe tomorrow they'll be the bacon eaters, and then you guys will be all more
Could be
the turkey bacon eaters.
Are we working tomorrow?
I meant Monday.
Okay, good. Well, no, because I woke up today
what happened?
Pissed
Billy?
at my phone. How dare you wake me up on Saturday? I was convinced today was Saturday when I woke up. Now, that's a nice place to live potentially, Drew. Or, you have to frame it a little bit differently. All of a sudden, we just got 2 Fridays. All right, we got 2 Fridays. That's a winner in my book.
That's a way to look at it.
Even though, little salty that I was wrong, and I did yell at my phone openly and potentially wake up my wife of like, why? Technology, you're supposed to work. You're supposed to know this. And then I cross-verified it. I did the 2-step verification like they do on your email. I read like 3 different things that said it was Friday until I firmly believed
I do like that you were questioning the technology, though.
I was convinced I was right.
My mind and my subconscious in my state of unconsciousness, it must be working better. So I did like that, Billy. But it is Friday indeed today, at least. All right, guys. Do you think this was the hot category? And JJ Watt was making comments on the international games on Twitter yesterday. He said, international game slate is nearing the realm of a traveling circus as opposed to occasional showcase. It was interesting. I think he's right, but I think that's what the NFL wants. I think they want the traveling circus. I think that's the whole point. That's what they're trying to do. So I thought that was interesting to see JJ Watt make those comments.
I know there's a lot of players, Drew, that are not a big fan of the international. I understand, right? I mean, that's a long travel. That's a lot of time. But like, I don't know that we're breaking a whole lot of news saying that the NFL like kind of quote unquote sure cares about player safety. It cares they care about the cash coming through to the organization, and that's always going to be king.
That is always king, and we're trying to build a brand and trying to take over the world. At what point though are we saturated? We're not there yet, but we're I would say regular TV is saturated. Like we were joking about it. Like I don't watch any network shows anymore. Like the local news has been hurt because no one watches primetime shows while they're on live. If you watch a primetime show, whatever it may be, you probably
2 months later when you stream it. Yeah.
Stream it. And sports is getting that way too. I mean, I thought about that last night. Thankfully, the Brewers played the day game and that opened up the schedule release. So it worked out very well here for us. No IN team, but media starts with me. But at what point is it just too much? Like even when college football and MACtion and there's football on every night and it's great. But at what point there's got to be a tipping point where it's like, okay, we've had enough. Can't take anymore.
Well, and I thought that was hitting it with the UFL. And then each time, they put out a super sweet Disney graphic that apparently their numbers are a little bit better. I don't know that they hit it or that they will hit it soon, but the pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered statement from Mark Cuban. Almost feels like it's more happened to the NBA because like still when it's the most important time, when it's playoff time, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. right? Like when it gets down to the time when it is nut crunching time and all the champions are going to be decided, it's the standard week. It's kind of what you expect it to be. Whereas like Armen put it out earlier in the week, and I kind of laughed at it because I did the exact same thing. Generally would never side with him going anti-streaming on sports because I like more money in it. But Armen, it is a Russian roulette game of trying to figure out where
that's just the reality.
NBA playoff game is on.
Yeah.
So like the more you change it up in the most important time, that's when I start thinking you lose people. But maybe I'm wrong. Right now, I think they're getting people in front of every television imaginable.
I think both things are true. I think people are going to be upset about it. I think like a lot of fans will voice their concerns and then voice their displeasure, and they'll get like a lot of likes with those on Twitter. But I think the other thing that's true is nothing will change. They're going to still find a way to watch. The NFL in that sense is Teflon. It's infallible. Maybe not forever, but I can't see it changing. Fans will complain. They'll gripe. That's true. And they might not like it, and they don't, but they will still watch. It won't affect the bottom line. That's the way I think both things can be true in this sense. And if that's the case, the NFL is fine with that. I think they have the arrogance to know that they are kind of Teflon in that regard, you know?
I also wonder if, Drew, some of the mathematics is like, all right, we are going to lose a certain amount of guys that are like, hey, my daughter's got dance on Wednesday night, and then I got to pick up my kid from basketball. We eat dinner late. Like, generally, I'm not even watching TV on that night, so I'll probably miss this game or that game. They're like, sweet, we'll subtract this guy that we might be losing. We'll add 3 more that are sitting on the couch flipping through Netflix, being like, what on earth am I going to watch? I'm going to watch The Office for the 98,000th time?
Yeah.
I guess. Sweet. Oh, there's a game on. All right, cool. Like, that's a weird balancing act that I wonder when it plays out, because I would assume it does. But they're going to run that thing all the way to the edge of that cliff.
Absolutely. When we come back, Paul Wagner going to join us. We'll talk a little pitching with the guru himself, pitching coach of the Lake Country Dock Hounds.
Opening day, baby.
It's opening day for the Dock Hounds for baseball, and we will talk to Wags next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. This portion of the Huddle brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Find a clinic near you. Sign up for that no cost, no obligation consult. See if they can change your life like they've done for so many. I visit them weekly, and I will tell you, it helps. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Drew, Billy, and Armen in the Huddle. It's Friday. It's 7:27. We welcome to the program our pal Paul Wagner, pitching coach of the LakeCountry.com's. Wags, happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and it is happy opening day for the Lake Country .com.
Love it. Love it. What kind of squad are we looking at this year?
You know what? You never want to get too excited. You don't want to get too I don't know. It's either we're pretty good or some of the teams that we've scrimmaged against aren't, as good as us.
Yes.
I'm afraid to say something because you never know. This game of baseball humbles even the best of them.
Well, and Wags, that's got to be the most fun part. Being around a team, being able to see it grow and mature and change throughout the year. But this is my favorite part of any season, whatever sport, because everybody's undefeated and everybody is having the same feelings of you as, all right, if Jimmy works out and Kevin just continue to locate that curveball, I don't know how anybody's hitting our 1 and 2 stars. You got to be rather optimistic. It's also got to be fun because now you have a whole runway to be able to work with these guys and try to get the most out of them, right?
It's so true. I mean, we say this in every sport, after every spring training, after every exhibition season, regardless, even though we know as fans, we can look at it and say, you have no chance. Chicago White Sox, although they are playing good now, you have no chance of winning the World Series. But coming out of spring training, you think so. You just never know. And yeah, it's a great time. Everybody's excited. And these rosters overturn so many times because you lose players and players move on. And whether it's for life or to pursue baseball within an affiliated organization or somewhere else. But very, very exciting for these kids. And yeah, definitely. It's definitely a new roster and a new season.
New season for the Dock Hounds opening night tonight. Wags, I'm wearing, in your honor, I'm wearing my Wisconsin Dive Bars t-shirt,
baby. Yes.
that I got from Brian. So I'm representing
yes.
you vicariously. Wags, how good are the Brewers pitching right now?
Again, you don't want to wake up a sleeping bear. They're very good. They are. I don't know. The one thing that I look at all the time is I love this fact now, and this is where I think, Drew, where you can see from in the old days where the mentality has changed. If you're going to keep a Harrison at 99 pitches or everybody's going to throw 100 pitches, that tells them that they have 20 pitches an inning. If you can give me 5 innings, whatever you can give me, that's great. I think it's just a mentality change because of the fact you can give everything that you have in your tank for as long as you can, knowing that once you come out of the game where they take the ball from you, I have 5 or 6 more dudes that are going to come in and just blow Ched and come from the left side, come from the right side, and finish up games for me. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a different whole setup now.
Well, and Harrison is one of my favorite ones to be able to see at Wags because like everybody anticipates and you give such a good perspective on Chris Hook of just like being able to ask the guy what he does best. What is the easiest way for you to pitch? What's the way that's most comfortable for you? And I can't say that I know a ton about arm slots and different degrees and percentages, but when they just say, hey man, we just want to have your body throw the baseball how you're designed to throw the baseball, is there more and more of that in pitching where it's, hey, we know a ton, but maybe we don't know these guys as well as their own body knows themselves. Maybe we just try to not have them think so much, and you can really untap the true potential a guy had because he's been nails.
Guys, I think he dropped. I'm gonna work on getting.
That was a bad question. I would have dropped too.
Though.
Wags
I would have dropped too.
Wags has dropped. In the meantime, we need our current electric superhero of the day.
Is it bad to call it Kyle Harrison after his pitching performance yesterday?
Say him or just like Chris Hook again?
I was going to say, let's do Chris Hook.
Hook again, because the way they pitched during this series has been incredible. So we'll make Chris Hook our superhero of the day. Call current.com, Current Electric, the best in the business. The superheroes on the side of the van.
Everything you need.
They're superheroes that are the techs. Check them out. Get the air conditioner tuned up. Be ready to rock and roll for summer. Wags has reconnected. Billy, you want to take 2 on the question?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it a little easier, Wags. Being able to just allow guys to throw their natural way. Is there some work in pitching of like, hey, let's not try to overcorrect and just let the guy be the best version of himself? That's got to be a difficult balancing act.
That's what I think it is. So many people try to tweak or make you the same. Nobody is the same. Nobody's grip strength is the same. Nobody's hand sizes are the same. Nobody's arm motions, the restrictions in your shoulder, your elbow, the way you've been brought up, the way you were taught. There's so many things. And back in the old days, everybody had to throw this way. And I'm not saying this in a negative way, but you read the Tom House book, and that's how we throw. We all throw this way, and this is how we want to be. We want to be Mark Pryor's. And we saw what happened to Mark Pryor back in the day. Nobody throws the same. And I think what you do is you find the kid, you find the guy, you find his comfort level, you see where he's had success, and you magnify that and you dwell on that. It's almost that theory or that concept of when you do 10 things and you do 8 things wrong. Let's focus on the 2 things you do right and make them even better to expand, rather than looking at the 8 bad things and negate the 2 good things.
Wags, I want to go back to Miz's start the other night against the Padres. 7 innings, 4 hits, 10 strikeouts. But the numbers underneath that, 17 out of 25 first pitch strikes. So he throws strike 1 as a hitter, you're already in deep, deep trouble, right? And then he had 20 called strikes and 20 swinging strikes. His slider was impeccable. And I'm thinking to myself, man, that as a hitter, 92 mile an hour slider or 102 coming fastball, you got no chance. And if he is able to mix in an occasional curveball or changeup, he's going to be even more devastating. What's the ceiling for this kid? I thought Tuesday night was about as good as you can pitch, but he's got room to improve.
Now, the biggest thing you always say with pitchers is, first, as a hitter comes up to the plate and he says, okay, I can't cover all 17 inches. I can't cover the inside. I can't cover the outside. I can't catch the fastball, or I can't catch the slider. I'm going to eliminate something. Now that he is throwing everything for a strike and he's coming at you for a strike, you have no time to eliminate anything. It's a dominating performance. And I'm very curious to see if Chris, when he took him from Nashville and just said, your stuff is so elite, you have nobody. I don't care if it's Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire. I don't care if it's Aaron Judge. You have such elite stuff that I want you to throw the ball as hard as you can, or whatever you want to do, but I want it right down the middle of the plate because nobody can touch it. And once you have that feeling, that Superman feeling, I think it's unbelievable what he's going to do, because he's giving you first pitch strikes. He's throwing pitches in the zone. He's getting chases, and he's got such elite stuff that it's a nightmare for the opposing hitters.
It's one thing to not walk a guy in 7 innings, but I don't think he had a 3-ball count. Wow. I mean, 93 pitches, 68 strikes for a guy who's throwing 103.
And a guy that command issues was the only thing that people were really worried about.
And he got Castellanos in the 7th. Now, he had to come out. He went out for the 8th. He talked Murph into going out for the 8th, and then he cramped up a little bit. But Castellanos was the last batter he faced, and he was throwing 102, 103 in the 7th, which is we've never seen before. And Wags, we talked about it before. This kid is must-see TV now. He's becoming, and he's on track to start Monday night at Wrigley. Like, awesome. Oh my God. Yeah. And he's saying he can get stronger. He didn't feel like he had his best stuff. If that's not your best stuff, I shudder to think. I don't know that Miz will throw a no-hitter anytime soon, because I don't know that they'll let him, and the pitch count and all that stuff.
Good point.
I don't know if that'll happen. If he throws that efficiently, he'll give
he'll
a
have
chance.
a chance.
But Wags, if I had to go to the sports book with Billy and bet that Miz will throw an immaculate inning this year, I'll go to the window with that. At some point this year, he's going to get it, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And we know he's got, like, let's just say 100 pitch limit. And you go to the book and it says strikeouts, 10.5 over under. And you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Listen, I had 10 on Tuesday night, and I was glad I ended up having that because of his length into the game. Wags, but there's also like the aw shucks part of it that I got to imagine if you're another guy that throws, like, I don't know, 99, or you can maybe touch 100. It's like, yeah, I threw 103. It's kind of nice. I think I might be able to throw faster. So I think I might be better. I always look at it like they got to be protecting this kid at all costs, or everybody else in the pen's like, this son of a gun. How do I drink a little bit of what he's got going on? Because he can reach the ball further than anybody else and throw it harder. There's a protect him at all costs, but also all right, buddy. We know that you're good. There's got to be a weird balancing act there.
If you start to the guys in the whole staff, even in I'm going to say the league, if you start comparing yourself to him, it's wrong. I think I saw a stat, and you could probably correct me, Armen. You've probably seen this. I'm going to make up a number. Miz has thrown 225 pitches over 100 miles an hour this year, which is the largest amount. The next closest is I think the kid out of Pittsburgh, Bubba. Bubba Chandler's a pretty good little pitcher. He's got a really good arm, and I think Bubba Chandler's at like 10 or 15, maybe even 20. Yeah. But if you try to compare yourself to Miz, or you want to be up to that and you want to throw that velo, it isn't going to happen, because if you try to throw 102 when the body's not ready to do it, it ain't going to work. It's like that arm's going to go to the catcher and you're going to have to say, hey, Billy Contreras, can you throw me my right arm back? Because I can't throw that hard.
So you're saying he's got the capacity for it, but it's not always going to be there when he summons it. Is that the idea, or something like that? Like it's just got to be there that moment, that day?
I think I don't. It almost, and I know he prepares. I know he works hard. I'm assuming. I said I don't know this, but it's almost to the fact where he has gotten in his mind now that he can roll out of bed and he can just blow 100 plus. Now he's trying to say, okay, now I want to get ahead of hitters. Now I want to get ahead of hitters with my slider. I want to be more pitch efficient. I want to throw 110. If I'm in the ninth inning with a great game going, Murph may let me go if I'm at 103 or 104, especially if I haven't had stress pitches.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking to Paul Wagner here on the Huddle. All right, Wags, one of the things that struck me, he was faced Michael King for the Padres, pretty good. He's having a pretty good season, and they're so different. King throws across his body, and it was a funky thing, but I was struck because I was at the game, and I'm looking at the mound, and Miz creates his own crater because of his long stride, and there aren't many guys that land where he lands, but they were in two different points of the mound because of the way King threw across his body. Did you like going up against a lefty in your starting days? Like people, that's one of the unsung things. People don't think about the way the mound is and how big the crater is where you're landing. And I know Miz had some trouble last year, especially on the road. Murph said, he didn't like the mound and he kind of got rattled by that. What is the dynamic of that? What is the pitcher's relationship to the mound? There were some mounds probably on the road that you liked, some that you didn't.
Yeah.
What goes into a pitcher in the mindset with just the dirt you're pitching on?
The mounds are pretty, it's not like we're going out to the backyard or a little league field, or we're going out to the high school field. It's pretty hard. The clay mixture, obviously the grounds crew at Miller or at AmFam Field is phenomenal. It's there's sometimes you'll get like a wet chunk of a red clay or something like that, but usually it's a kick-outable. It's a fixable thing. So depending on where they land, you can come out there with that dry peb and you can, almost rake it with your cleat and get to the point where you feel comfortable. Never really had a problem. There's not like a guy that just tore it up that I can remember offhand. But again, it's so nice. It's usually nice. I don't have that super long stride. I never did. My idea was to get up, get to my set position, and as soon as I'm ready to go, before I transition, I want to get that arm, I want to get my leg down. I want to hit that slope, and I want to break, and I want to go as fast as I can. So I don't know. I never really ran into problems, but some guys with a long stride, a short stride, a crossfire, sometimes lefties will dig out a hole just to piss you off.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. The game within the game.
That's my kind of guy. That's right there.
That's what I'm talking about. It was striking because both those guys, they were obviously, and Miz lands with a lot of force. They're doing that. They're studying like hitters plant foot, like their front foot, like how much force they can generate with that.
Yeah.
And so now it's the same thing with pitchers, right? That's part of the physiology of throwing.
Right. And that's kind of what we're looking at. That's the data that we're getting right now is keep that right, your drive heel, the heel that is connected to the mound, to the rubber. Keep that heel keep it tight as long as you can. And when you hit, get that extension out. Nor extension. I'm going to say Miz. I'm going to make up a number. It's 60 feet 6 inches from the rubber to the plate. His extension, I'm going to make up a number, could be like around an 8.7. I don't know, but the more extension you get, now you're getting more life off the ball. We seem to be seeing the more you extend and you finish your pitch as it comes off the tips of your fingers, you're getting more spin rate. The spin rate is keeping that ball elevated a long time, and they call it an IVB, or inverted, whatever they call it, but it's playing at a higher level, which is in turn causing hitters to swing underneath the baseball. And if Miz is coming at 102 and a hitter has to decide really, really fast when he's going to determine if he's going to swing or not, it's coming out of hand strike. So he's got to think strike, but by the time he determines that ball is not coming and he's swinging right underneath it, and you can't catch 102 or 103. There's no hitter that can.
Damn, all that data. You sound like an analytics guy now, Wags. I like this. Oh,
no,
yeah.
Armen,
Oh.
Armen, I still believe in wins and losses, Armen.
Well, what about the wins and losses? What about the counting stats? How many birds do we put in the freezer? How did the season wrap up? Because the season starts today for the dot counts. But what about the turkey season, man? How do we wrap up?
We have 3 off of my place, and we have one of your salesmen is out there right now. Mr. Tasker is out there trying to get his bird for his season. His season started on Wednesday. So again, Armen, thank you for the music. The podcast is going strong. We're coming close to 250. So again, thank you for that intro. We're playing it and we're loving it, and we're getting views and streams.
All right. Shout it out again one more time. And we'll these guys around here like turkey bacon more than me. So maybe if you're making any turkey bacon, we had a debate about turkey bacon earlier. I don't think it's real bacon.
Well, I tell you what, I got mine out and I just breasted it out. And by the time it came out of the fryer, my daughters had eaten it all up. So someone says, "Hey, you got any turkey nuggets for me?" And I go, "Not a chance."
Maybe when it's fresh. Maybe when it's off it, his
too delicious.
Awesome.
Too delicious. Armen, come over. I'll make some Blackstone turkey bacon.
We'll enjoy it a lot.
We'll
Ready
taste
for
test.
Yes.
Hey, Wags, best of luck against those Gary Railcats tonight, and enjoy the season. You're buckling up for the roller coaster. It's going to be fun.
It's starting. Thanks, boys. Thanks for getting me back.
All right. Paul Wagner, pitching coach of the Dock Hound.
Don't thank us. We thank you.
We thank you.
we thank you for being back with us. And also, I didn't give him the heads up, Drew, but in talks to figure out how the huddle ends up with the Wings with Wags on a certain Wednesday.
That's what we're
night.
talking about.
That's the promotion
That's
that I
the
really
wings I
want.
like.
But DocHounds.com, go check them out because they have maybe my favorite giveaway of all time coming up on June 5th. Quick Trip Glazers.
That is incredible.
It's simple but genius, right?
What? You kidding me? A 6-pack of Glazers in the stands?
Boom.
I might never move.
That's heaven. Hot dogs and glazers.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Glizzies and Glazers.
Glizzies and glazers.
Come on now.
We love it.
I'll take a free ticket for that.
It's time for us to close up shop here on the old Huddle. We will do that with our Wake and Bake story of the day. We're having a blast on a Friday. Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time to close up shop for the week. Oh, my goodness. They're going to have to rip these microphones away from us. We're having so much fun here on the Huddle. Drew, Billy, and Armen. And it's, I don't know, it hits different when it's going to be 75 out and 80-degree weekend coming up.
Now we're feeling that weather.
Amen.
Put the snow scrapers out of the car. Put that away.
And everything hits different when you see on that extended forecast something with an 8 before it,
I'll
right?
take it.
70s are beautiful. 80 means we're here. We've arrived. And listen, it's going to be a great weekend for it. It's going to be my my potentially one golf weekend of the year. So I hope on Monday I'm not like barely standing up in here, because I'll tell you, I feel real old and real out of shape when I'm worried about going and playing golf.
No doubt. I mean, you work your way through a 75 ball bucket, or even 50 or 100 balls at the range, and you're sore. And then you think, all right, well, you're going to swing that much on the course probably, and you're playing a scramble, so that's okay.
Yes, makes it a lot easier.
The Arrowhead University fundraiser that you're attending. Shout out.
Thank you very much. Come on, Warhawks. State champions.
Let's
price goes up when you're in state champions. Makes sense.
You might play better if you have a little Drift Seltzer in the cart.
You better believe
Drift Seltzer from Happy Place Hemp. HappyPlaceHemp.com. Use the code Huddle for 25% off and free shipping. Today's a perfect day to go see Rob and Chris and stock up for the weekend. But if you can't make it to the store in Muskego, right across from Maddie's over there, you can hit them online and use the free shipping. Get the code Huddle, 25% off free shipping on the best CBD products you'll find anywhere at HappyPlaceHemp.com. Billy, what's a good wake and bake story for a Friday?
So there's a lot of ways we could go with this. I don't know that there's anything better than if you are of that fandom that wakes and bakes, of seeing the amount of real stoner-like videos of the schedule release yesterday. I mean, they went for all of the great classic stoner movies. When you look at Step Brothers with the Las Vegas Raiders, Fernando Mendoza and Kirk Cousins reinventing that. Little Robot Chicken vibes kind of from the Packers one with the claymation one last night as well. And there's a little Mario deal in there. The Los Angeles Chargers, shockingly, did take a shot at Versini and Vrabel in their video, which everybody was wondering if they would. Everybody did. Everybody does. However, I can't say I ever thought that this was going to be as Armen coined it earlier, knock it out of the park. Social media department Super Bowl.
That's it, man. That's
the middle of May is when they play what they play for, and everything else is all second place. Depending on if you can knock it out of the park here. And I'll tell you this, drifted into the couch last night and watched way too many of them. That is probably an hour of my life I'm never going to get back. And I don't remember any of the other ones. But I will say I laughed at the This Is Sports Center one, because that nostalgia, those commercials that ESPN made, I don't know that they've ever made better content.
Yeah, that was amazing stuff. All hilarious. I could watch those forever. The old YouTubes of like.
It pulled me right back into a rabbit hole, and I watched a 30-minute cut-up of it. It was great. God bless Stuart Scott.
All right. On Monday, we will recap the weekend. We'll talk about Billy's round of golf, and we'll get you ready for Brewers Cubs. I mean, that's as good as it's going to get in mid-May.
I was going to say the fake border battle until the real border battle coming up on Monday.
That's right. Have yourselves a great weekend. Enjoy whatever you're doing. And we will gather again on Monday at 5 a.m. Thanks for hanging out with us in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Peace.